Hey guys, it is 3 days until the end of the year, 28th of December 2019, on the east coast of the US, 10:14 p.m. exactly, and it is episode 134 of 4PlayerAnimecast. And as we said on our social media and beforehand, we are at our last show of the year, and that means our infamous once a year 2019 awards show. And with me are, as usual, my compatriots, Dark,
Wow, hey.
Near,
Wow, hey.
and Toast.
Should, should,
To-
should, should I buy that Matsuri sneezes 27 times video? I'm really thinking about
I-
it.
can we have that conversation later?
It's $5 for like 90 seconds.
You're so stupid. But yeah, I am your host, Spire, and I am so glad to be with all of you at this final podcast of the year. Again, our awards show. I definitely look forward to it. I'll probably be getting pretty cheesy and waxing poetic as the podcast goes on, but for those of you who have watched this before, you guys know the drill. We are just going to go through our awards, and they'll be pretty basic ones. They'll be like best character, best soundtrack, so on and so forth, and we'll have a little bit of personal awards and worst best series, the hits, right? And afterwards, we'll give a little bit of rundown on our thoughts for the year. All right, so I guess without any further ado, let's get on to it. Best character is the first one up, and also before we start again, for the people who aren't necessarily used to this or have forgotten, for every sort of awards, obviously we say which one is our best character or best soundtrack or whatever, but we also want to give a brief explanation of why, like what we think is makes a best character or what we think makes best visuals or whatever. But yeah. Anyways, for me, best character, pretty briefly, is just a character that uh, gives value to the series itself, kind of stands on our own. We get to see his or her development pretty clearly, and it's a relevant, empathetic development. And throughout all of this, we, because of the complex development and the sort of the center stage that the character receives, the story benefits from it beyond her regular interactions with the cast. So, in terms of that, my award for best character goes to Hoshino Miyako from Watashi ni Tenshi ga Mayorita, or Wataten, or also known in the localization as An Angel Fell Down. An Angel Fell Down to Me.
Who is it again?
So, what?
Who is it?
Hoshino Miyako,
Really her?
or the sister character
Is she
in
the
Wataten.
lolicon?
Yes. So in this one, the reason why I chose this character mainly is because
You
yes,
like she's a cyclops?
yes, the Cyclops here. I mean, she adds value to the whole, like, oh, it's cute girls doing cute stuff, blah blah blah, Wataten, all that good stuff. But in addition to that, she adds her sort of introspections, her retrospections, her clumsiness in dealing with the girls, and her eventual development and being like, hey, want to be friends, and kind of getting used to that sort of banter, adds a layer to the story beyond that of just oh man, she's like an older college girl, but then she's getting wrapped around by all these lollies. It becomes a little bit more grounded and serious because of her being the main character and her controlling the introspection, and it's not too much on the nose. It's not like she comes out and she's always just like it's not always like the story is about her and she says, oh man, I'm so moody and I can't deal with people, blah blah. It's not always like that, but it's in there enough so that we can see this gradual evolution. So that's what I would give best character to, and an honorable mention to Haru from Beastars. So next on, and we'll try to keep this order of who goes next, so on and so forth. But Nier, best character, please.
I gave mine to Legoshi from Beastars.
Yes.
Mostly because I like Beastars, and I felt like I don't know. I feel like I talked about it a bit when I covered Beastars. I think the last episode, right?
Mhm.
But Legoshi just felt like a very natural character,
Mhm.
in terms of like just uh his inner thoughts, like his introspection, um, and just like being in the crazy setting that is Beastars world, and then having like just a very normal character that thinks about things in I don't know. He just felt really natural, right, in that world.
Right.
Like I was saying,
Like
I
he
was
has
covering,
unique problems with regards to being in like a normal human world, but in Beastars it's a little bit, more
yeah.
naturally done.
It's like when I was covering Beastars, like I was always talking about how like natural everything in Beastars feels, and
Right.
I think Legoshi is like the prime example of like that just feeling like just as a character for the series. And so that's why I picked him.
Mhm. Okay. Dark.
Yeah, well, I ain't no furry, so
Yeah, whatever, man.
So what'd you
uh,
pick then?
if I watched more Beastars by the time we had to do this, I honestly probably would have chosen to. But instead, I chose mine from I don't know the Japanese title, so I'm just gonna say Ascension of the Bookworm.
Oh yes, yes, yes. Hmm.
So I chose mine primarily because I don't watch. I guess I have a different perspective because I don't watch a ton of isekai.
Hmm.
So
Why
the
not?
whole mind melt, oh, yeah, why
Why
not?
not?
The
Very
whole
good.
like strange mind meld sort of thing that she has with the
Hmm.
character, where she has all of her memories from when she was like alive in the Japanese world, but then she winds up sort of merging those memories with the body she's reincarnated into, essentially.
Hmm.
So I thought that it was pretty interesting how they kind of have that the two personalities like meld over the course of the episodes.
Right.
Where in the first few episodes, she's very much more of just adjusting purely based on her sort of like Japanese perspective to life there. But over
Okay.
time, she becomes more and more of like the regular mind that was there before her. So I thought that that was really interesting, and I liked watching uh, essentially that transformation happen
Hmm.
and
Right.
seeing
Right.
her, yeah, and just kind of seeing like her develop a stronger relationship with her family over time.
Okay. So again, goes to mine of Honsuki no Gekukojo, or I believe A Sentence of a Bookworm in English. And last but not least, Toast.
My
Best character,
pick.
please.
My pick is
Is
what did I write? Oh, I chose. I chose. What's her name?
Hero?
Oops. That's last year. Don't look at that.
I was about to say,
Toast, please.
I mean, it works, but don't look at that. I chose Latina from
Uchi Musume.
Uchi Musume because she's pretty cool.
Okay.
That's it.
What?
I mean,
Is there?
literally. My other choices were Vernois. Vernois. Is it how you pronounce it? Vernois from Chocodo Girl 1-6 or what the heck is that English?
Overdrive Girl
Yeah,
1-6 or whatever. Yeah.
because that show is really neat. And I
Okay.
had to choose between her and the other ones, but we didn't get to see the alter version of the other girls, so I can't write her out. So I chose Uchimusume girl, cause she's cool.
Okay. Do you want to give like a brief
Not
thing
real,
about why
not
he's
really.
cool?
No, I just thought she's pretty cool.
Okay.
I really liked Uchimusume, and I was like, do I really want to put another Fate character as my best character?
I think Latina definitely has a very unique, if not like not necessarily like a unique premise, a very unique or relatively unique context, even within the Sky world. So I think it's a pretty good choice.
I mean, the isekais this year were kind of lame. They really were, and I didn't want to choose Honolulu from Azure Lane. I mean, I could have, but like she did appear in the anime for 5 seconds,
For 5 seconds, best character.
but she didn't even have a speaking line, and her model was really bad. So I was like, do I want to? No.
No. Okay.
And then another choice was Mirai Akari from Virtual Sanwa Miteru. But then we know what happened to every.
Virtual Sama Miteru
Was this year?
that
Yes.
this
Yeah.
year?
January.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
I had the same reaction, bro.
But and I'm like,
Dang,
but
that was so long ago.
Mirai Akari's dead now, and basically every virtual YouTuber on that show is like non-existent because they don't
Mhm.
live stream, so they're dead.
Mhm.
Except Shiro.
Okay.
Apparently, she still makes content. Good for her.
Yeah, Entem mostly shut down, but again, that's a
So
topic
yeah,
for another-
Latina's pretty cool. Uchimusume's pretty cool. She also won my favorite daughter character this year.
Okay.
Yeah,
Pretty good.
neat.
Pretty good. And with that, we'll move on to the next topic or next award. Next award is Best Overall Cast. So for me, Best Overall Cast means obviously having. There is value in diversity. There is value in having um, a multiple characters that can kind of all interact well, because then it shows the writer's ability to kind of evolve a social layer of the world, right? Where everybody's interacting kind of organically, naturally. But it also means that I think for me at least, there's more value in having a smaller cast that can really kind of grow around each other than a larger cast that are all kind of like, I have this gimmick, I have that gimmick, whatever. Blah, blah. So, with that in mind, my best overall cast goes to Kono Oto Tomare, or Stop This Sound. So Kono Oto Tomare is by I forget what it was by. It was by Platinum Vision. Yeah, it wasn't by like a big studio, but it's general like music series, so on and so forth. But
Is it better? Is it better than Hibike Euphonium?
I believe so. Yes, but but yeah. So there's three or sort of
Jesus Christ.
general. Yeah. So the three sort of main characters, that is Chikakudo, the sort of delinquent guy who kind of gets used to it, kind of returns to playing the koto. Takezo, who is like the nerd person who kind of gets wrapped up in all the koto stuff, but is very enthusiastic. And Satoa, who is the female prodigy, who kind of gets in and kind of, has to deal with obviously not talking down to people and kind of being more used to kind of dealing with, how do I say it? It sounds bad, but like other people's mediocrity and being stuck not in, Harvard or some like big school or whatever, right? Like Todai, right? And Tokyo National University or anything like that. But it's like, she's kind of stuck in wherever, some random school, and she still wants to kind of achieve big things, right? So all these characters kind of mix together quite well. It's not, again, a lot of people, but the people that are involved kind of evolve quite well throughout the series, and they all have their individual thing that are very like, it's very relatable. Where it's like, again, one person is just like, why don't you understand this? I understand this. I get this naturally. Why don't you guys understand this? And I'm sure some people have had that with, various different subjects throughout their life. Chikakudo, the delinquent, kind of goes through this whole thing where it's just like, why, like, kind of he has to deal with this like back and forth with the Kodo because he has this experience, he has his sister, so it's like, I'm a, I know things about the Kodo, but then again, after kind of seeing the prodigy Satoa, he realizes, oh shit, I kind of have some background about the Kodo, but I need to actually, work up from ground zero. And Takezo obviously being enthusiastic, kind of working up, kind of dealing with, the people around him, the strong personalities around him. So those three members really kind of evolved very well, and I don't think I've seen very few other series really evolve as well, meld as well as they do, and also are relatable, which is a decent bit of value for me as they go through the series. So my award goes to Kono to Tomare, and honorable mention again to Beastars. Next, Nier. Best overall cast, please.
I gave mine to Kimetsu no Yaiba. Mostly because I feel like Kimetsu no Yaiba's cast was it's very, very like all the characters are extremely different from each other, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they all bounce off of each other pretty well. But it's more of I feel like it's sort of a product of Kimetsu no Yaiba's ability to balance like the seriousness with the comedy at the same time that makes the character synergy like shine so well. Like there's characters that are just drastically different from each other. Like Zenitsu and the guy with the boar on his head, right? Inosuke.
Oh yeah, Inosuke.
Like they have like a bunch of bits together, but like they're really, really different characters, right? And it's I think it's really good synergy, and I think just like the sheer like I guess diverseness of the cast really helps just make the series a bit more colorful, right? Make it a bit more unique than just your average like demon slaying action shonen, right?
Right.
I think that Kimetsu no Yaiba's cast is a large part of why it's so popular, right?
Right.
It
Exactly.
sets itself apart from the others, so that's why I gave it.
Good stuff. Dark.
All right, so I decided to give mine to Kaguya-sama, Love is War.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much for similar reasons, like Nier was saying, the sense of the way the cast really comes together. I thought that even though the four leads of Kaguya, Chika, Yu, and Miyaki, they do fit more, I guess you could say, like stereotypical roles in some sense. But I thought that they really played off of each other well, and I thought that the jokes that kind of flowed between them were really well done.
Okay.
And there were, there was crossover between some people, which was nice. They would kind of break out of their own roles every now and then too. So I thought overall, even though it's only four characters, there were a lot of shows that had much larger casts. I feel like they did a lot with just mostly four characters.
Right.
So
Just being able to run the sort of almost like manzai stuff like that, and slapstick comedy, so on and so forth.
yeah, and they managed to make it sort of like fresh every single episode, even though, obviously there was a pretty clear route of the way things kind of went.
Right. There was a formula, but it was still like the pacing
Yeah.
was snappy enough too.
Yeah, there was a
Yeah.
formula, but also the I guess this isn't cast as much as it is something else, but I think the having the cast on top of sort of all four of them towards the, I want to say, sort of like episode chapters.
Mhm.
Having the winners and losers listed of each scenario was a nice touch.
Okay.
As like a wrap up of what they were doing.
Right. Okay. Pretty good. Toast.
What's up?
Best overall cast, please.
Want to take a guess at what it is?
Is it Azure
Azure
Lane?
Lane.
Did you fucking actually give it to Azure Lane?
Best overall cast. Dude, I'm like already cringing. I'm like preparing for the impact here. I don't think you understand.
do you believe it? Do you believe it's so?
Well, I don't
Yeah.
know.
I
don't know
wouldn't
what
put
it
it
is.
past you.
Well, then it would. Okay, then it will be so. All right.
Wait,
All right.
seriously though, wait, what'd you give best overall cast?
It was gonna be Konosuba,
Konos. What?
the Konosuba
Oh, yeah.
movie,
The Konosuba movie.
because we got to see Megumin's red Crimson Demon people. And I was gonna talk about how all of them are Chunibyo's and it was really funny, and that the main antagonist of that movie just added to the entire band of merry men that the original cast had, and it was really good. They played off each other well. But now I'm gonna talk about Azure Lane. You know why? Because I started playing Azure Lane this year, and even though the anime looks like trash, some of them are really cool. Like Honolulu.
Okay.
Honolulu is great. 5 seconds, great. There was more St. Louis than I wanted, but I'm like, I guess because she's more popular, and Honolulu's not that popular because she's a 10-2 map drop, so not many people have her. I don't know. Enterprise is like the Nagato of Azure Lane, because Nagato like appeared once, but she's not very Nagato-like, so it's a disappointment. Belfast is a good foil to what's her name? Enterprise. She's a combat maid. I like Azure Lane. I'm sorry, my introspective isn't as deep as you guys.
It's fine. It's fine.
That's because you forced me into Azure Lane instead of talking about Konosuba.
It's fine.
But
Also,
yeah,
Don't put that on me.
I do also want to say that as much as I kind of found it from the Konosuba thing from left field, but I do want to second Toast's point about the Red Crimson Mage stuff. Like expanding the family of the Red Crimson Mage, or like going all in, was something that the author did actually really well. Like that was a good investment of light novel pages. I just want to say that.
Pretty cool. Do you want to spoil it? You want the spoiler? They're related to that weirdo guy.
Go for it, I guess.
Apparently, their ancient runes are Japanese, and what
the classic.
there was ancient ruins that only a password could unlock, and no one knew about the password. But there was a controller, an NES controller on the door, and he was like, "Wait a second." So you know he inputs the Konami code, and it opens, and I was like, "Nice, nice."
Okay. Anyways, thank you, Toast, for
you did this to yourself.
You did. All right. Anyways, thank you, Toast. And the next two awards that we're gonna cover, so we're gonna cover Best Voice Actor and Best Newcomer Voice Actor, are sort of like optional awards in a sense, where not everybody necessarily might have a choice. So the people who do it, will say who we picked. The people who don't, can just pass. But yeah. Anyways, going on next, Best Voice Actor. This was like a thing that went on for a while, but then it kind of just ended up being a little bit more optional. But yeah, Best Voice Actor, generally just being prolific, doing a variety of roles, doing important roles, not sounding like the exact same person every time, or kind of like at least trying to like vary their tones, right? Goes to Suda Kenjiro, also known as the guy who voices Japanese Seto Kaiba. So
Since when did you watch Yu-Gi-Oh?
I don't, but I still know he's very famous for this role. But anyways,
You know he was in Mouse-sama Retry, and that kind of sucked.
yeah,
But the only reason I watched it because Kaiba was in it.
yeah. But yeah, he did main characters such as Mouse-sama Retry. He went from that to One Punch Man, Atomic Samurai stuff. He did more villain roles as maybe his voice might suit, stuff like Fairy Gone, To the Abandoned Sacred Beasts, and Copcraft, the ones within Genome, the JoJo stuff, Ultraman, roles, and even like shoujo stuff, Domestic Girlfriend, just everywhere, and just obviously showing a variety of roles, being able to play villains, being able to play main characters, even doing comedy with the African office worker, just everywhere. And also, he recently just like acted and directed like a preview for that one like manga about like the house, the homemaker, like the housewife style like yakuza, right? He like acted his own shit out. Like that was something else. And he fit that role to a T, and it was like really good. But yeah, Kenjiro Tsuda gets the award. Honorable mention goes to Hikase Yoko, who also did a variety of stuff, and Kaito Ishikawa, who did again a lot of stuff. But he also got pretty notable roles in The Rising of the Shield Hero, Naofumi Iwatani, To the Abandoned Sacred Beasts, like Cloud Withers, like more of a villain role, and of course Machio Naruto in How Heavy Are the Dumbbells You Lift. A lot of different important stuff. But yeah,
You're talking about Goku Shufudo, right?
Yes.
The house husband?
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, Kenjiro Tsuda gets the award, and next on is Nier. Do you have somebody for best voice actor or?
Yeah.
Okay.
I gave it to Chikihiro Kobayashi, which is the voice actor for Legacy.
I'm just gonna reuse the same pic. No, I'm not.
Yeah. Like I was saying when I covered Beastars last episode, the way he acts the inner thoughts of Legoshi, again, it's really natural, right?
Mm-hmm.
It feels like he's just talking, right? Which is kind of what people do when they're having inner thoughts, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the I don't know, it just really impressed me. You don't usually get dialogue like that in anime, right?
Do you know who you actually voiced? Like one of the things he voiced before?
Surprisingly, he's actually also he's pretty much a newcomer.
Yeah, and he also did Saichi Sugimoto.
Yeah.
In Golden
yeah,
Kamuy. That was
pretty cool.
Unexpected, yeah.
But yeah, he's a good actor. And yeah, I was really impressed with just the way he voiced that character, the way he portrayed that character. So I'm giving him both best voice actor and best newcomer. So
nice. Okay, Dark.
So I didn't really have someone for this originally, but thought about it real quick, and I'm gonna give it to Nobuhiko Okamoto.
Yes.
Pretty much.
Give it to who?
He had a few. He had a
few pretty good stuff. Yeah.
Pretty good roles this year. I mean, he had Accelerator, which did very well.
Yeah, Accelerator is always like like back pocket.
You actually listened to me.
Yeah. But then he also did Dale from Uchi Musume.
Mm-hmm.
Even though he screams a lot in that too, turns out he can scream without sounding like a fucking like feral monkey. So I thought that was pretty impressive.
Did you know he also voices Bakugo from Bakugan Battle Brawlers?
Yeah, he voices Bakugo, who when he fucking screams during his fight with Deku any single time. It's the same voice he does for Accelerator. Yeah, I'm aware.
Yes.
Hasn't quite gotten to the same level yet, though, in Hero Academia. One can only hope. But yeah, so I thought that was worthy enough. Since didn't really have anyone else lined up.
Mhm.
And it was just cool hearing him in a more calmer role
Mhm.
this year in Uchime as well.
Keeping it a little bit on the down low, only screaming like, half his throat is gonna break.
Yeah, he only screamed like every couple episodes.
Yeah. Just relaxing, as we do. But yeah, good. Toast.
You want to take a guess, Fire? Mine's pretty good.
I'm not sure actually.
Really?
Yeah. Who is it? I feel like once you say it, I'll be like, oh, okay, that was obvious. But then I don't know.
My pick for best voice actor 2019 is. Dun, da, da, da. Here you go. Why is it so small? Damn it. There you go. Yeah.
Who is it? What the fuck?
Yeah.
Toast. That's not a. Oh my god.
Yeah,
She's
it counts.
not
Yeah, it counts. Yeah, it counts.
She's not in an anime series. Toast.
Yeah, she is. She's
What?
She's in the Hollow Live animated shorts. Yeah,
Are we really doing this?
He's got you there.
Yeah.
Oh
I found the loophole. My pick for best voice actor 2019 is Natsuhiro Matsuri from Hollow Live. She's cool.
Fuck. God.
she's probably my favorite. It used to be Tokino Sora, but I'm like, wait a minute, she's a little bit better.
What the fuck?
Because Tokino Sora was also one of the old guards of anime virtual YouTubers. I liked her and Mirai Akari because Kaguya Luna and Kizuna Ai and Dempa Onashiro are too mainstream for me.
Oh my god. Okay.
But then the Azure Lane stuff came up, and I'm like, hey, Matsuri's pretty cool. Because if you're thinking of the new Hololivers, Fubuki's the mainstream.
Yeah.
Right, Spire? Right. I know how much you like that the Scatmans.
No, not really.
You post
But
every
I
other fucking
loves
day.
that clip.
Fucking one. Every time somebody reposts that shit, I want to punch my fist through the monitor.
Fire, did you see the 3D version? That was great.
God, I'm just fucking stop that shit. Anyways.
Yeah, Matsuri's cool. I like her funny laugh with the wheeze at the end. I like her weird sneezes. And apparently how she screams at Cat Mario.
God damn.
Do you want me to keep going? Matsuri's pretty cool.
No, it's fine. Thank you, Toast, for your word to Natsuhiro Matsuri of Hollow.
Who's the guy that likes Subaru? I find Subaru's voice kind of jarring. Was it?
I like. No, that's me. Yeah, because she's actually funny.
Yeah, but her voice is kind of jarring. Why don't you like the normal pick like Okayu?
Because they're not funny. But anyways, this is not a conversation we should be having right now. But anyways, next is Newcomer voice actor, best newcomer, and Nier already picked one for newcomer, so he doesn't need to go. And I'll go really quickly. Obviously, again, newcomer, best newcomer, pretty much the similar idea along the lines as best voice actor, but light version, right? Because they're newcomers, they don't have many roles. And mine would go to, I think it should be pretty obvious by now, is Fairu's Eye of Hibiki Sakura in Dumbbell ga nan kilo motteru, or how heavy are the dumbbells you lift?
That's cheating.
So, I mean, why is that
She's
cheating?
like the only option.
No, I mean what Nier just put for Beastars, right? The new guy.
She's like the only option.
Well, Chikahiro Kobayashi isn't necessarily a new person because it was like Golden Kamuy was last year, right? But
Yes.
he's still kind of been in and out, I guess. But yeah, there are a decent number of other newcomers, especially in the short stuff like Kitoribochi, and I believe Senyu Shoujo and stuff like that. So there are a decent amount. But Fire's Eye definitely just rocketed to like stardom. Like I haven't seen that sort of shit. I don't think the anime industry really has seen that sort of stuff until I want to say Uesaka Sumire with like, but even she kind of just went in with like Ranko from Idolmaster, and then she did other stuff, right? Like she kind of got this like platform in with the Idolmaster franchise, but like Fighter's Eye really took that shit. Like Dumbbell was like, oh, it's meme, blah blah blah, stuff like that. But she like upped it with her presence. That was something else. And obviously, she's doing another main role this upcoming winter season, right? It's like if my favorite idol made it to the Budokan, I die, or whatever that thing is, as well as one of the main roles in Kanagawa Jet Girls. But yeah, I very hard to, I think, in my opinion, to kind of see her as anything other than the best newcomer. Nia already did stuff. Dark.
Yeah.
Just
So I actually originally had her as well,
Mhm.
but
I mean,
did
there can be
decide.
overlaps. It's
Yeah,
not like
no, I know. I mean, like I guess for similar reasons, like it was kind of a toss up at that point
Mhm.
between her and Chisaki Marishita,
Mhm.
just because I thought she did really good
Both are very
as
good. Yeah.
Pochi. Yeah, I thought she had a lot of really good moments as Bochi. Like I thought she did a really nice, uh, sort of like meeker voice
Mhm.
for a lot of Bochi's stuff. So I am gonna go with her.
Okay.
Uh,
Good.
I do hope that she gets more stuff soon. I mean, I
Yeah.
hope that Bochi gets another season to begin with, but I
Yeah.
hope she does get more roles. Just because she hasn't gotten anything yet.
Mhm.
And I thought she did really good in Bochi. So
Okay.
That's
Pretty
a
good.
that's a brave choice, Dark.
how is that a brave choice? There's like 2 newcomers this year.
Anyways, Toast. Please do not pick another fucking virtual YouTuber.
But I like Kiryu Coco.
Oh,
No.
Well then,
Can you pick somebody who
about?
actually freaking voiced the television anime series?
yeah, this wasn't
Oh,
the year.
fine. I pick Denpa Onashiro.
This motherfucker. Anyways, Toast is passing, but that will just move
Fine.
on
I
here.
also pick KBK.
Hmm.
Why
yeah.
why you gotta do me dirty, Spire?
I don't think I apologize for making you pick anime stuff in the anime awards. Anyways, next on, again, this is just back to regular stuff.
Near, you got something?
Nier already picked. He picked the main character for
Oh, right.
Beastars.
Wait, what? What happened to the? Oh, okay.
He picked the same person for both best. Yeah. Anyways, next is our music section, best opening / ending. You in the years past, we used to have both a best opening and a best ending, but then it became really clumsy, and sometimes like all of the endings were shitty and stuff like that. So we ended up kind of combining them together. Anyways,
Wait, they're combined? I thought we had separate.
no,
Whatever.
they're
I'll make it quick.
okay. Best opening ending for me again. I do care about the visuals a bit, but I'm definitely much more heavily on what the music is actually like. And not only am I a little bit more heavily on what the music is actually like, I'm a little bit more heavily inclined towards giving value to novelty. So it still has to be like coherent musically. It has to have some addicting quality. It has to be pretty good, or it has to have some like oomph impact, right? But at the same time, it can't just be like, main phrase, and then for like a minute, like we're just gonna have drum beats and a soft female vocal just singing the song, and then boom, we just build up into main phrase. Like that sort of formula is dead to me now. So I try to stay away from that stuff. With that being said, the best opening / ending. um, I think this was the hardest choice I had to make. I gave my best opening to Tanderu Nankiru Moteru's opening, also known as Onegai Muscle, sung by Fighters Eye and Ishikawa Kaito. Obviously, it has a kick to it. It's not too formulaic. It has an addictive quality. Obviously, there's just memes and it's become pretty viral all over the place. And I don't think there's it's a pretty good opening to just kind of pick here. I was split between this in me picking this and obviously honorable mentions that eventually went to the Beastars opening, which is called Wild Side by Ali, and also to the Abandoned Sacred Beasts opening, which is Sacrifice by Mafu Mafu. But yeah, the Beastars opening was very, very close to kind of taking it all, but I felt like the first half of the Beastars opening was quite weak. Visually, I think Beastars opening is definitely just blows everything out of the water, but musically, it's just like, it's not that necessarily that I don't like rap. It's just that doing it for too long within like an anime opening, I think loses a lot of energy, and just the mumble rap kind of thing went on for a little bit too long. The second part, the jazz part, was very, very, very good, but it just couldn't top first half. But yeah, that's my award. Damber Nankiro Moteru opening, or Onegai Muscle, with honorable mentions to Beastars opening and to the Abandoned Sacred Beasts opening. And we go to Nier.
Wow. So, unlike Spire, I care about visuals,
Actually looking at anime.
Yeah. So as I'm pretty sure I say every awards show, Best OP is kind of like one of the more important awards for me.
Mhm.
I feel like the OP is really important for a show.
It can pull people
It's-
in.
Yeah, it sets the mood.
Yeah.
Um,
Attack on Titan opening was like part of what sold it, honestly. Like
Yeah.
what sold it to the mainstream. Like, hey, let's not kid ourselves here.
yeah, it really just kind of sets like the general expectation that the audience is going to have for, what they're going to be watching, right?
Mhm.
And the things I usually value in an OP are obviously, the music, is pretty important.
Mhm.
And the visual, like directing, and uniqueness. I like a OP to be visually distinct, maybe just like generally like unique to like the art style that is actually in the show. And because of that, I actually went with the OP for Carol and Tuesday.
Oh.
I had I fought with this a lot. I wanted to give it to Beastars.
Yeah. Especially since you just said visually, like.
Yeah. Beastars is definitely the most visually unique opening of the year.
Uh-huh.
It's honestly the most visually unique opening in many years.
Uh-huh.
But I feel like Beastars OP, as unique as it is, it doesn't really tell you very much about the series, right?
Okay.
Like it's kind of just it's kind of just cool looking, right? Like the characters are there. You know, some elements from the show is going on, but like it's not really. It's not
It's kind
really
of throwing
telling
stuff
you.
at you. It's kind of
Yeah,
throwing
it's
stuff
kind
like,
of just
this is
like
happening, that's happening. Like here's a
yeah,
trinket. There's
like here's animals, right?
yeah,
And
exactly.
it's
Yeah,
not really telling you exactly what the series is about. And
yes.
because of that, I went with Carol on Tuesday because it sets the tone for the series.
Mm-hmm.
It's extremely well animated. It's absolutely beautiful,
Yes.
and it's got a damn banger of a song.
Yep.
Yeah, I feel like it's definitely the best opening of the year.
Okay. Dark.
I actually gave mine 2 B stars.
Yeah,
Somebody had to do it. Somebody had to do it.
Why you
No,
guys doing Dark dirty?
It was cool.
Yeah, it was
I
good.
like
It was good though. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it definitely does. It definitely doesn't set the tone for the show. Just because it's like, especially it ends on like the really dark note, so it's like, you know, like on one hand, like I get that it doesn't really, but it also kind of, I don't know, as almost like it's almost like the show is fantasy. I guess it kind of works, like almost like his inner thoughts, because you know there was the whole situation where he almost kills her, so.
Right.
It kind of, and just being sort of like rejected because he's a carnivore or looked down on and whatnot. So I thought that the OP is kind of good in that sense. I really like the song, and it was stop motion, so that was cool.
Yeah.
Carol and Tuesday's opening is also obviously really, really, really good, but I don't like the second one.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't know. It was definitely hard. Like, I also kind of took away Carol and Tuesday a little bit because I gave him other stuff. Gave him quite a few other. So
Okay. Yeah, I understand.
yeah, and
You gotta share.
yeah, I did want to split mine for the ED. Just to mention it really quick too, was Bookworm for the ED.
Oh yeah. Bookworms ED was pretty
I thought Bookworm's ED was really cool with how it's like a older style, like your book sort
good.
of
Right.
thing
Yeah.
style to it. And I thought that
Yeah.
that was really. It was definitely one of the more visual, like oriented EDs out there.
Right.
So
Yeah, pretty good. Toast.
What's up?
Would you like to give us best
Yeah.
opening
My I picked 2 because I can.
Okay.
So my best opening was actually pretty tough because I had to pick between what did I pick again? Hold on. There we go. Yeah, I had to pick between one really funky fresh one and then one opening that wasn't as good as another opening, but still pretty good because the voice it had a good voice behind it.
Okay.
So
And
I
they were.
picked. So I. You know what? I'm gonna pick it.
Yes,
what?
that's usually how these awards go.
Yeah. I'm
you
gonna
are
pick that
going to
one.
pick it. You're right.
I picked Assassin's Pride opening. I don't remember the name. Share the Light by Run Girls.
No,
What?
that's
No, it's Share the Light. Right? Yeah.
it is Share the Light?
Share the
Okay.
Light by Run Girls Run. I don't know who's running.
Okay.
Not me. I'm not a girl.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay.
Because
So
it really gave me a Maria Holic X type vibe
oh, okay.
when I watch it over and over again. You guys know. No, it's not. It's not Azure Lane's opening. Azure Lane's opening is not as good as Concole's opening. That's what slaps. You know. That's what the
Okay.
kids say, right? Yeah. Stats Pride's opening. It had a funky, fresh Maria Holic vibe. I like that. The colors, the weird, non-symmetrical beeps or whatever to it.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's both visually good and non-symmetric. Yeah, that's for my opening. The honorable mention at the opening was War of Underworld's opening. Yeah, you heard me, Spire.
Fuck.
What's wrong with
I don't know
the
what that
the
is.
first that what Sword Art Online Alicization World of Underworld? War of
Oh,
Underworld?
okay.
What's it called?
Fucking whatever, man.
It's a good opening, but it's not as good as the first one. But it's really good. It's on the same level of how Sao's first opening is better than Sao's second opening, but they're still really good.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
they know what they're doing with the openings. They're all good.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my honorable mention for opening. For best ending, you know what I got, Spire. I got you. I could
What?
not I couldn't because none of you included it. I had to
What?
do it. There you go.
What is it? What is it?
It's the chica dance. Yeah.
Oh, fucking
Yeah.
Kaguya-sama ending. Okay.
Don't at me. Chica dance is the best ending of this season.
Fucking toast.
And
Anyways,
my
yeah.
honorable mention was to Heaven's Feel Part 2, Lost Butterfly, Eimer, I Beg You. You know why? Because it's Eimer, and I really like Eimer. And apparently, does it count as an ending? Because the only time I heard it was at the ending credits of the movie and in the trailers, so that's an ending,
That
right?
should be okay. That should be fine. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but that Chica dance though.
Fucking toast. Anyways, thank you, Toast. And next on the list is best overall soundtrack. So for me, again, this is obviously a little bit more vague, but it does have to balance a lot of things, right? It has to balance actually just doing a lot of like background sounds, like hissing, doing kind of slow, like maybe like cymbal or snare kind of stuff to kind of um, create some sort of tension. Synths at maybe the right places if need be. A lot of times, for momentum, and sometimes just silence, right? Picking the right instrumentals is obviously crucial, but usually these days people don't really mess that up. But yeah, best overall soundtrack for me went to Dororo.
Hmm.
So Dororo balanced a lot of the stuff where it's like, so let me actually start with what I gave honorable mentions to. Honorable mentions went to Kono to Tomare, Demon Slayer, Kimetsu no Yaiba, and Beastars. So all of these did their stuff, like the music part of it, very quite well, right? So each of these themes, like if I just kind of had it as like a background, music, or like studying at the library or whatever I was doing, I'd be like okay with it. But I feel like it didn't balance. So it's like the visual. So it's like the audio equivalent, the auditory equivalent of something being sort of like on the nose in terms of in the story, right? So it's like it's very on the nose, and what I mean by that, it's kind of like, okay, here's the fucking theme, like this is what's happening, bitch, and I feel like that's okay in some situations, like with battle scenes, with whatever stuff like that. But I feel like there is a little bit of value in adding a more sort of general sound effects and even silence necessarily in um, general OST. And I feel like Dororo balanced that act of having the themed sort of music in Dororo, the usual sort of Eastern instrumental stuff, so on and so forth, and being able to sort of mix that with the proper sort of background, I guess, almost like not like elevator music, but like general sort of background music needed for the series. So um, that's also sort of why I also like Nichijou, right? Because like way back when, because Nichijou, Hyoka, stuff like that had the ability to both have good, themes when it was needed, but also kind of know the value of silence. So that's where my best overall soundtrack went to, Dororo. Nier, best overall soundtrack, please.
I gave mine to Carol and Tuesday.
Yes.
You know, obviously a series about music, Typically, those shows typically tend to have pretty good soundtracks.
Yeah, Symphogear and Carol and Tuesday were very, very strong as well.
Yeah,
I don't know
pretty
why I didn't put it on
pretty
my
all
list,
right
but yeah.
soundtracks most
Yeah.
of the time. But yeah, I was really impressed with Carol and Tuesday soundtrack. Especially considering it's a series about music, right?
Mhm.
It tells its story through music, and of course its characters. But just the music is obviously a very important aspect of the series, and it's really good. It's really diverse. There's a lot of different genres, and all quite good, quite bangers, So yeah,
Okay. Pretty good. Dark.
Shocking. I also chose Carol and Tuesday.
Nice.
It had songs.
You're like, wow,
No,
music.
yeah. As fucking brain dead of a statement this is gonna be, I didn't expect it to have as much music as it did. Right? Like I didn't expect almost a track like every single episode
Yeah,
for
like inserts and
24
stuff like that. Yeah,
episodes from
yeah,
like so
exactly.
many different characters.
Hmm.
So I mean, I just really like the way they put everything together. Like, you had not only Carol and Tuesday, but then you had what was her name? The like fucking Ariana Grande looking chick.
yeah.
You had
With the
her, I forget what her
weird
name.
mom.
Yeah, and then you had what was the other guy's name too? There was a what was it? It was like the black dude who wore like all yellow too. Like he had a track during the
Concert.
music festival. Yeah, the
Yeah.
festival they went to. That was really cool. And then Angela's tracks were really good. And then the what was it, Pieter or whatever, too? The Instagram guy during the
Yeah.
contest too.
Okay.
Like that was like I wasn't expecting like that many tracks from different people. So that was pretty awesome.
Okay.
And not only that, also like the background tracks were really nice too and really fit. I felt and guess honorable mention to Hitori Bochi, just because I thought a lot of the tracks in that show just really fit the tone of the show very well and had a lot of more like whimsical sound effects that they added for that too.
Right.
So that was thought that was also pretty strong. But Carol and Tuesday with just the sheer number of great like actual vocal tracks,
Right.
kind of unbeatable in my mind.
Yeah. Okay. Pretty good. Toast.
What's up?
Your best overall soundtrack, please.
My honorable mention goes to Heaven's Feel Part 2, Lost Butterfly. Because you can't go wrong with UFO Table and Eimer. No Calafina, and it really showed. But it's still pretty good, Near, right?
It's
Yeah,
pretty good.
pretty good. So my pick was whoops, no, that's no, that's in Matsuri again. Where is it? My pick then goes to da 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 da.
What?
Dragon Ball Super Broly. Yeah,
Okay.
it's good.
Pretty good. Okay.
Pretty good. One,
I can get behind that.
the soundtrack where you want a spoiler for Dragon Ball Super Broly? You want a spoiler?
Sure.
Where this part where Gogeta, you know who Gogeta is, right, Spire? That's the Metamaran
Yes, I do know
fusion
who
dance
Kugaji is.
of. Is it It's Metamaran, right? Yeah, Metamaran fusion dance between Goku and Vegeta, where Gogeta fights Broly. They have this. What is it? So, what's the music where they go Olay and soccer? Is it soccer? Soccer music? You know, they say Olay a lot, like in a
Sure.
soccer match.
Yes.
Apparently, the composer, the composer took notice of when, what was it, that one Mexican city broadcasted Dragon Ball, the the last few episodes of Dragon Ball Super on a big screen. They're all like, "Hey, that's neat. We're gonna use Mexican Olay music in this," and it sounds like a. I've heard it sounds like a fighting game. You have Bro or an announcer going, "Broly's here," and then people are cheering, "Yeah!" And there's Gogeta, and the announcer's also cheering. It's pretty good. I don't know.
Okay.
Movie soundtracks never go wrong. Like they're always a cut. They're always a cut of one's jib. No how movies great.
I don't think that's how that's no.
Not
I don't think that's how that phrase works. But okay.
The only time when a movie wasn't as good as the anime was probably not Heaven's Feel, Unlimited Blade Works, but that's Dean, you know. That Kenji Kawai Emiya like 3 or Emiya 2 remix was pretty slap though. So I mean, but it's Kenji Kawai. You can't go wrong with him. Yeah, Broly OST. Check it out. Pretty cool.
Yeah. Okay. Pretty good. And with that, we are done with the music section, and we are going on to, or we're doing a pretty short, shout out to best overall visuals. So best overall visuals. I mean, I don't think I obviously like fluid animation, like coherent animation, right? Like by coherent, I mean like if you're doing some sort of blending, if you have like an idea of what you want to do, CGI, hand drawn, whatever it is, right? You gotta commit to it, right? And not just be like, yeah, we like kind of just ran out of budget 1.5 episodes, and sorry guys, like that's not a thing, right? You guys better have a good plan, right? Like,
Why you hating on Azure Lane, Spire?
And then, if possible, it should go above and beyond what the anime industry has done. I know it's hard to ask to keep breaking standards all the time, but that's what it should do. It's a business, but the anime industry is also a medium, like an art medium, right? And as an art medium, it should strive further, right? So with that in mind, best overall visuals go to Beastars, with honorable mentions to Kimetsu no Yaiba and African Office Worker. Actually,
Really? I thought you said it looked bad.
it was awkward, but it had some moments of like shining glory where I was just like, okay, this thing like it just needs a bit, like it just needs polish. You know what I mean? Like it has like all these ideas kind of thrown in, but then it just like needs polish. It's just done in like a poor way at times. But Beastars obviously is not done in a poor way. When Nier first was like, reviewing the series, and he was going to talk about how the CGI was good. I, not just me, like I'm not going to talk like I'm some sort of like seasoned veteran or anything like that, but all of us come from a place where when Japanese anime do CGI, we're like, unless it's for like a huge monolithic steel building, we kind of know what to expect. You know what I mean? Yeah, we're just like, all right. And so when Nier was just like, wow, it has like it does just CGI stuff, but it does it really well. I was just like, yeah, I guess. I seriously was like, it's not that like I trust everybody in this podcast in terms of like how they provide me like information or opinions. Like I trust everybody here pretty much. Like if they say something is like good or bad or whatever, like in a serious sense, I pretty much take them at their word. But I was just like, at that moment, I was just like, yeah, but it's CGI, dude. Like, you know what I mean? But then I actually watched it. I was like, okay, this actually went above and beyond like what I expected it and what the industry was currently doing. It wasn't. I mean, like the whole like Pioche and chess like Berserk and stuff like that. And it's like that shows like the bottommost rung of like what's possible. But it's like even in terms of like the standard sort of like the blending and whatever stuff we have today, it was still head and shoulders above. It was still head and shoulders above. And I think that sort of this sort of series, much like Hoseki no Kuni before it, is what the industry has been wanting all this time, right? Everybody's always talking about, we're going to consolidate stuff. We're going to maybe shrink, pen, the people that, or subcontract all the people that draw by hand or whatever, and then we're going to invest into our CGI. Blah, blah, blah. This is a series. This is a series. Like, like what else do we need to say, right? Like, this is sort of one of the near end goals, right? So I just, uh, I don't think there needs to be much said. I would definitely give my best overall visuals to Beastars. So that being said, near.
So best visuals again is extremely important category to me.
Yeah.
I like animation.
Anime, watching anime, what the fuck?
I like looking at anime with my
Using
eyeballs.
eyes.
And so, like Spire said, obviously pushing the industry's limits is very important, right? And it's the reason why, the year Hoseki no Kuni came out, I was like floored, right?
Yeah.
I gave that series so many fucking awards.
Mhm.
And I think Beastars definitely deserves the award for best visuals, but I'm going to give it to Fate Grand Order.
Whoa there.
Yeah, I'm giving it to Fate Grand Order. Because Fate Grand Order, in my opinion, some of the cuts in Fate Grand Order are arguably the best that Fate has ever looked. I genuinely think that like fights like Ushiwakamaru versus Gorgon, despite the fact that Gorgon is, CG a decent amount of the time, those cuts are gorgeous. Like they're beautiful. They're really, really good looking. And I do think that they're some of the most visually distinct and unique cuts that Fate has, like, the franchise has ever seen. And I was really, really impressed by them. Not only the animation, but also the audio design as well. The sound effects in Fate Grand Order are extremely satisfying to listen to. I think it's an extremely impressive show.
Mhm.
And that's why I'm giving it best visuals. I think
Okay.
it looks absolutely stunning.
Pretty good. Pretty good. Dark.
So I decided to give best visuals to Fire Force.
Oh yes, yes.
I decided that after a while, because there were a couple of contenders. I was thinking either Beastars, Fate, Fire Force, or Kimetsu no Yaiba. Just because they all had kind of their own sort of standout thing. But I think Fire Force overall for me has kind of stuck with me the most of having like the most different things that it's doing very well all at once. I think Fire Force has a lot of really cool uh, sort of like styles that it goes with.
Mhm.
Especially in the more recent episodes, they started like for the opening, uh, like explanation of what happened to the world has a sort of Grimm Brothers almost like style to it, like fantasy, like storybook style to the recap. Uh, I know in the episode when we covered Fire Force, I think you also talked about the different styles they do fire in for different characters.
No, yeah. Actually, yeah.
Yeah, so that's been great. I think a lot of the colors are really nicely done, with especially like like the glow on their outfits compared to the rest of the scenes. I think are really nice. I think the directing is really good. I think there's a lot of really cool shots. Fights are pretty clear a lot of the time, even though there's a lot of crazy stuff going on with it. More so than David production did even JoJo. more recently, there's a character that stops time, and there is a cool fight in that where it felt really. I don't know if I want to say, yeah, no, not natural, but the character when they're stopping time, they did a lot of cool stuff with it. In the first episode, they appear when they were stopping time, rather than showing them doing anything while time is stopped, they had a shot of like feathers falling, uh, and then it would hard cut to them again. There were shots where that person was actually just blinking out of existence, so that was pretty cool. Um, and yeah, just overall, I think a combination of things is really what made me give this visuals of the year, more so than anything.
Okay. Pretty good. Pretty good. And Toast.
Why you gotta do me dirty in here?
What?
I was just about to talk about a movie.
Well, I mean, I don't consider a movie with a movie budget condensed into a much shorter like period of animation to be very fair when considering like a comparison to like a 12 episode series, you know, in terms of animation quality. But I mean,
Fine then.
you do you, right?
Fine then. You can do me dirty like that? Alright. You know what I'm gonna pick? I'm gonna pick Kimetsu no Yaiba. Yeah. What do you got to say about that?
That's not fair because they evaded taxes.
What the heck was that? I pick Kimetsu no Yaiba. You know why? Because I can't pick Heaven's Feel Part 2. That Saber versus Berserker fight is probably the best animated UFO type of fight that I've ever seen. And I've seen Lancer versus Archer.
Oh, whoa!
I've seen that too. It's not a good looking fight.
That is the benchstone. Cornerstone. Benchmark of Fate fight scenes of this decade. Fate Zero was cool, but have you seen Lancer versus Archer? That first time you see it, that shock and awe that you get, like, oh man, this is how a servant fights. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm picking Kimetsu no Yaiba because it's UFO table, and it looks really good. Really, really good. It's almost like it's a Fate series, but it's not. Yeah.
Okay.
Honorable
Okay,
mention
pretty-
goes to Dragon Ball Super Broly because I like it is a stunning revamp of the old Dragon Ball art style that has waned since what, the original? Because if you look back at some of the original Dragon Ball movies, those are really good. Back in the heyday of, hey, we're not going to use CG, hand drawn. But then that one guy who did most of the Dragon Ball artwork, what's his name? Whatever, that guy, he's been slacking. You know those really ugly shots of Dragon Ball Super that people like to put out? That's the same guy who did, let's say, Fusion Reborn and the old and the good movies. He's been slacking, maybe because he's old now. But yeah, we got the new guy. The new guy and his new art style, it's so good that they stole that guy and they're like, hey, you work for Toei, right? And he's like, yeah. Like, okay, now you're doing the Wano arc in One Piece, and he's like, damn, all right. So they stole that guy from Dragon Ball, and he's doing the Wano arc for One Piece, and it's really good looking.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Pretty good.
pretty good.
All right. And with that, we're going to start going over to our sort of overall mixed bag of awards here. So first off, it's going to be I always enjoy this sort of part of like the mixed bag stuff here because a lot of these awards are more of like worst stuff, throwing shade, so on and so forth. But yeah. Anyways, first off the list, best studio. So best studio, in my opinion, goes to picking the right adaptations. Having a production committee that actually likes good anime. That'll be really nice, and then also presents them, makes good anime adaptations from that, or makes good original works from their production committee ideas, right? Gotta actually follow through with it. If you just do straight up whatever, it's kind of like, okay, sure, like sure, you do that. But yeah, my best studio went to Mappa, who the most notable stuff that they did in 2019 are Dororo, Sarazanmai, and To the Abandoned Sacred Beast, with an honorable mention to Doga Kobo, who did Wata 10, or Watashi ni Ten shika Mayorita, An Angel Fell Down to Me, Sewayake Senko-san, Sewayake no Senko-san, and Tamberu, obviously again. How heavy are the dumbbells that you can lift? Tamberu wa nan kilo deru desu ka? So, with that, yeah. So, I mean, I don't think there needs to be much said. Dororo, Sarazanmai, The Abandoned Sacred Beast, all pretty decent series, especially with, Dororo and Sarazanmai. Pretty consistent. Had, 3 series, working pretty regularly, once, almost one series a season. Pretty consistent. And, no. Mappa did, Doga Kobo did Damberu.
Oh,
I gave honorable mention to Doga Kobo, who did Damberu and Wata 10.
freaking out for a second.
Yeah, I was like, if Mappa did Damberu, it was like, I would be like, no, there's not even an honorable mention. Like, hello? But yeah, Mappa definitely a good balance of like having good series out and adapting them in very good ways, so on and so forth. A lot of the other studios didn't really match up with sort of Mappa's track record in 2019, in my opinion. Near best studio, please.
Whew. I gave best studio to. See, I don't remember. I'm pretty sure when Hoseki no Kuni came out, I gave it to Studio Orange, right?
Yeah, I think you did. Yes.
Yeah, I'm doing that again. I gave it to Studio Orange.
Okay, good stuff.
I mean, like you said earlier, they're just pushing
Deserved.
boundaries, right?
Yeah. No, it's deserved.
Like they're doing things that the industry really hasn't been able to do,
Yeah.
but should be able to do
Yeah.
for a long fucking time now.
Mhm.
Like I don't know.
They're always talking about it, but they've never done it. Is the thing.
Yeah, like there's so many studios these days that are like, oh, well, we want to push more into CG animation and
Mm-hmm.
yada yada yada, but every time they do it, it looks like shit.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
And then here comes Studio Orange, and then they're like, yeah, here's how Hoseki no Kuni. It's one of the greatest looking series that's come out in recent years,
You're right.
and it's entirely CG.
Right.
Like it just puts other studios to shame. Like we're like, what are you doing? And they they just keep doing it. So yeah, I have to give it to them. It's extremely impressive what they're doing.
Yeah.
So
Very, for sure. Dark.
So I gave mine kind of like more of a package deal with best visuals, just because I gave mine to David Production as well.
Okay.
I did it because, well, I mean, part 5 was bled into this year too. On top of Fire Force, and I think Fire Force has just been, to me, even more so like Demon Slayer. Kimetsu no Yaiba obviously had really just fantastic audio visuals, but I feel like Fire Force has had such impressive like style and direction parts of it, and I don't know how much of that is to do with being an adaptation. But I can't imagine there's a lot of it there that was directly translated just because, like, for the manga, you really don't have the pacing there, and I feel like the pacing with the way some of the shots were and has been really impressive and just not something that you see in what is, for all intents and purposes, a main mainstream shonen series.
Right.
Uh, like I'm watching the show and there are jump cuts and the use of sound and everything that creates like a tone they don't really see too often, where it's like creepy and just bizarre, and alien and foreign for sort of like the underworld type thing that they're going through now in the show.
Mhm.
There's a lot of jump cuts that are just like scary, and really just weird looking, really exaggerating faces and everything like that. So it's just been a really cool thing to see, and obviously some of that is to do with the adaptation, like the source material. But I can't imagine all of it is, or a lot of it could be,
Mhm.
just because of that. So that's why I wanted to give it to them. My honorable mention was going to be Studio Orange as well, just because, just be on the lookout at everything that they're doing, even though, now we know there's Beast Stars season 2.
Yeah.
But
But yeah, definitely just
one day we'll get
such potential.
Hoseki if we all
Yeah.
watch it.
Pretty good. Toast.
Yeah. I remember now. My best.
Okay.
What is it? What is thing? Best studio of
Studio?
2019 goes to JC Staff.
JC Staff.
JC,
Okay.
How?
that's what they did, right?
You're gonna have to explain yourself.
Interesting pick.
I think that's the. Is that the one? Is that the one that did what's it called?
The movie, the
Yeah, the Konosuba movie, right?
Konosuba movie, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. There you go. You got me.
All right.
What?
No.
Okay.
I'm gonna give it to A1.
Okay. I forgot what A1.
Hey, what
Did
did
A1
A1 do
only
this
do
year?
like one series this year?
Did
They only did Kaguya-sama this year, right? I guess.
I
You're
mean,
basing it off Kaguya-sama, I guess?
Kaguya-sama was pretty dope.
Yeah. Okay. I can get with
so
that.
also. Oops. There we go. Also, they did Why is it so funky? They also did Alicization, right? War of the Underworld. Yes.
Oh,
yes.
you're right, they did.
I guess so.
Yeah.
Sigh, I guess so.
And we'd all know how Sao looks. Sao has
Okay.
never worked. Why do I, when I Google A1, I get Cloverworks?
Because Cloverworks
Cloverworks is like a branch
shoot off of
A1.
A1. Yeah, exactly.
And
Anyways.
Cloverworks started as soon as they made Slow Start. They were like, "Oh yeah, by the way, you're Cloverworks now."
Yeah. Surprise,
So,
mother.
did
Yeah.
Cloverworks do Sao? No.
No,
No, then they'll count.
Cloverworks did not primarily. So
All right. Yeah.
Anyway.
Honorable mention. UFO Table.
Okay.
Near, who's the one
Okay.
that did Babylonia again? Wasn't that?
It's Cloverworks.
Is it?
mm-hmm.
Yep.
Damn. Then my judgment was not wrong.
Okay.
They're not the same studio anymore.
Yeah,
but
it's not
alright.
the same. But
Near,
anyways.
who's doing the movie? Isn't that someone else? No, it's not Mappa. It's,
I believe the
UFO
movie is
Table.
A1.
is it?
Oh, the FGO movie.
Camelot.
Yeah. Nice. It's not UFO Table. It's not Shaft.
Okay.
It's not that one anime studio with the fancy name that did Carnival Phantasm, and it's definitely not JC Stat.
Lurche? Didn't Lurche do
Joke's on you. It's fucking Production IG.
Who's the studio that did freaking Prisma Ilia? Is that JC?
Isn't that Silverlink? Or
Oh
something?
God, it
Yeah,
is.
I'm pretty sure it's Silverlink that
Yeah.
does Brilliant Boy.
We don't talk about. I mean, they did Oath Under Snow, and that slaps. But Prisma Ilia is kind of no thanks. I'm not into that. Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, thank you, Toast, for your choice. And we are going to then move on to Worst Studio. So, Worst Studio is obviously, we don't need to really talk about it. But for me, it's like either put out disappointing work or it's just like very few works depending on, what they're actually capable of, so on and so forth, right? Just like doing not very good work in general, right? And so this one goes to, for me, Gemba, who did the Magnificent Kotobuki. I believe when I reviewed it, I almost like I was just like trying to blot it out of my memory while I was talking about it in the podcast. It was just like the way the CGI is done, the way they did like the storyboard and just like did the cuts, and it's just like everything was just so like, what on earth is happening? Like, there's just like unbelievably, like literally, a kindergarten would look at it and be like, "There's something wrong with this like show." You know what I mean? It's just so bad. It
Hey,
was so
hey,
bad.
hey, hey, Spire. You know what else they did?
What?
Berserk.
I know, yeah. That's why I was just like, I can't believe that after the Berserk fiasco, you guys still have the balls to release something as bad as like the Magnificent Cultivator. Like, it's just such a disappointment.
Hey, Spire.
Yeah.
You know what? You know what the company that co-animated Berserk was?
Wasn't it
Millipedsy.
Millipens? Yeah, Millipens.
You know what else they did?
I forget.
TQ.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Millipens TQ. Fucking
TQ's
these
fantastic.
motherfuckers. Yeah.
TQ's great though. Do you,
TQ.
do you like TQ more than you like Berserk?
I think that's a very low like at this point we're just like scraping the bottom of the barrel here. But anyways,
So I like TQ more than Berserk. My favorite season 7.
anyways, my honorable mentions go to PA Works for only doing Fairy Gone this season. And before people are like, oh, but they did like, stuff like Makia and movies with what kind of they did all of that shit like last year. So, like let's calm down here.
Fuck
Um,
viewers.
They did and also some other honorable mentions. A1 because they only did Kaguya-sama and SAO. And although A1 actually I shouldn't say that. A1 was okay because Kaguya-sama, but other than that they didn't do much, which is a little bit disappointing. And Trigger, who only did Promare this year, right? So
Was
That's
Gridman
all
not
they
this
need. They're
year?
fucking epic and cool and super awesome, and they sing
Wait, was
anime.
Gridman not this year?
I believe it was.
Gridman was
I think so.
2018,
Oh,
was it?
all right.
Shit.
Yeah, that's I saw Gridman and I was like, oh, they did Grid. Oh wait, that was last year or something like that. But yeah, anyways, definitely going to Gemba. Fuck those guys. Nier, or Studio, please.
This one was tough.
Why you hate?
I mean, unless you have some like obvious target like I did, it's pretty hard actually.
Yeah.
It's all about disappointment. It's not about like actually being bad.
I mean, I kind of had. I had a target, and then when I was looking at studios, I was kind of like, oh,
You have more targets.
yeah. I almost went with Madhouse.
Oh, okay.
Because to me, Madhouse has been putting out some pretty mediocre stuff. They did what is it, Shometsu Toshi this year.
Oh yeah.
And they did
It's called.
Boogie Papa wa Warawanai.
Yeah.
Which
That adaptation was a little. Sure.
yeah, I mean, I'll talk about Boogie Pop later.
Yeah.
But I was like, No Gun's Life was okay, visually and just pacing wise. And then Chihaya Furu 3 finally came out, so they're not like the worst. So then I went back to my initial target, which was JC Staff.
Oh yes.
And holy shit, JC staff fucking sucks.
DC staff was like not very good. Like this is
Like-
mediocre as shit. Yeah.
They're just not good.
They're just shitting out like pretty much just like straight up like add ups, and also the One Punch Man, like the season 2 of One Punch Man was definitely not.
Yeah, I mean the
that
season
was
season two of One Punch Man was kind of like my biggest target here. Like, first of all, it looks like shit, right?
Don't forget
Um,
that Data Live 3 was this year too.
Data
Yeah.
Life 3, and then it did Danmachi 2 into Shokugeki Soma 4 into like it's literally just sequel after sequel, and they're all straight
Yeah,
out.
and listen, High Score Girl, you know, some people, you might like the content, but that show looks like fucking shit.
It's
Yeah,
not good.
the show is very ugly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I went with JC Staff largely due to just the way they handled One Punch Man was honestly, it was like really disgraceful. It was hideous. The special effects looked like dog shit. The fights looked like dog shit, and they literally plagiarized fucking season 1's animation. Like, it was pathetic. I think it was the worst showing, especially from such a large studio.
Exactly. That's the big thing. It's just like it's not like they're. I mean, yes, you can argue that it's like they're not as huge as a Kyoani might be or something like that, but like they're still a tier 1 team. Like, let's be real
Yeah.
here. But okay, good stuff. Dark.
Well, you know, for me, this one was really easy. Because it was also JC Staff. Because what the fuck happened? Like, holy shit. From the end of 2018 through this year up to Accelerator, like, I have no idea what the fuck was going on at JC Staff, but some wild shit was happening because One Punch Man Season 2 is one of the worst looking things I've ever fucking laid eyes on. Like, from to be a mainstream show, like, people talk about One Punch Man,
Yeah,
and it
it's
looked like that.
yeah.
That's fucked up. That doesn't make any sense. Like, think of another show that is as mainstream as One Punch Man that fucking looks like that.
The biggest problem is like it's also evident in the manga or the webcomic or whatever version you want to fucking pick. I don't care, but it's very much apparent that One Punch Man is based around the spectacle as well, the visual spectacle, right? Like, yeah, oh my god, One Punch Man, it's about the dude who's so strong. Well, yeah, but at the end of the day, like, it's about One Punch Man just, Saitama being there and punching the shit out of people, right? It's like about that entire 2-page scene. You know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about, like in manga, where they take up like 2 pages and it's like boom,
Yeah.
that entire like.
Yeah,
It's
or
about
it's
that
like
shit.
a spread of fucking Gino, like,
Yeah.
transforming his arms. and
Exactly,
shit.
exactly. Just becoming the demon, right? But it's
Like-
like
It ain't, but like, goddamn, when you take
Yeah,
the
that was-
visuals at it, like, you took the visuals away from One Punch Man, and it's like, what's the point of watching it?
you just
There
have like a
is
high school
literally
PowerPoint.
no point.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, just
Exactly.
fucking read it. Like, there's more animation if you read it.
Yeah.
Like, it's
It was
fucking
not good.
ridiculous. Like, it
It
was
was
so
not good.
bad. And then, like, I mean, I can't even give them bonus points for Accelerator because Accelerator looked good normally, and then like the fights with him weren't that great because you
Mhm.
can't really make fights with him look that great.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I'll give him a pass on that one because it's not like he does hand-to-hand combat. He fucking stands there and things blow up around him.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like
So
a
the
lot of it's
fights
just,
with
like
other
explosive.
characters were like all right.
Yeah.
Like those were pretty well done, and like the actual art in the show looked good, and they did new like CG blending,
Mhm.
and it's like when they're putting out that, it's like why did Index 3 look bad at the end of last year? and then lead into all this shit. Like, what happened?
Right.
So it's just like JC Staff was all over the fucking place. And I don't know what that was about. And yeah, One Punch Man season 2 is just like fucking bizarre.
It was not good. It was not good. Okay, Toast.
Oh, all right.
Toast is dead. Anyways,
What was yours again, Dark? I forgot to put up a picture.
Mine was
JC
JC Staff as well.
Yeah. All right. I'll just double up. It's fine. Yeah.
Just clone it.
There you go. Mine is Ghost. Mine is Bibbery Animation Studios. Wow.
Is that?
Oh,
The-
bitty bitty.
Yeah.
Is that
the
the
one.
London animation or whatever?
That's the one that did Azure Lane.
Oh, okay.
And they did Grisaya Phantom Trigger. I don't remember Grisaya at all.
Okay. Yeah, it wasn't Grisaya. I forget how Grisaya was. I didn't watch it either. But anyways, keep going with Azure Lane.
Was Grisaya the one where the little dude, where that older sister had sex with the younger brother, and the dude was all like, "This is why I don't like women."
No, it's the spin-off of that.
Oh. I'm glad you know that. Yeah. To sum it up, Bibbery Animation Studios is the one that did Azure Lane, and Azure Lane is delayed till March because of lots of animation problems. The first couple episodes looked good, and then it slowly got worse. And worse and worse and worse. And there's been a lot of complaints. There's a lot of animosity between Katakawa and Bibbery. So much so that the last 2 episodes of Azure Lane are delayed till March. That's what?
Jesus Christ.
6 months? Yeah.
That's like some
Since it
God
started.
Eater shit.
Yeah, exactly. It's God Eater all over again. And then they're all like, okay, we'll fix it. And then there was that one incident with one of the animators who was all like, I don't want to work on this. I'm going to half-ass it. I'm going to work on the fake Grand Order movie and make some real money.
That's some real monka shit right
Yeah.
there. Honestly.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Bibbery, get your shit together.
Yeah.
Please.
Good. Please. Begging. Pray emoji.
I don't want another contact collection again, for this time for a completely different reason.
Okay.
Like missions.
Anyways, next on the list, this one is a yearly favorite for everyone, and let's not pretend it's not. It is most overrated series. Classic. So I mean, I don't think I need to explain too much. Most overrated series, people really like it. Praise it, do well, whatever, and then I think it's not very good. There's not too much there. That delta has to be big, right? Most overrated series for me was a very easy pick. Very easy. It was just like the moment I was like going through the awards stuff, just picking. I was like, because last year it took a while. It took like a long time, right? And I'm sure a different year for Dark. And I was just like, oh, this is gonna take a while, like 3 hours, 2 hours, 3 hours probably. And then I like saw stuff like this. I was like, oh yeah, no, never mind. I got this. Most overrated series goes to Gotobu no Hanayome.
Oh, we're gonna have to fight about that.
Not fighting shit, dude. So everybody's just like, I'm so tired. I'm so tired of like having to talk with there are plenty of people like that are like me that just like read the series and are just like, yeah, we're just degenerate people. Just whatever. Just shoot me in the face right now. That's fine. Like I understand that, right? Like I read Tulliver. I'm not like defending. I'm not like, wow, it's such a masterpiece or whatever. It's like we're just all fucking degenerates,
But
right?
Spire, is it better than Nisekoi?
Tulliver or Gotobun?
Yes.
Tulliver is better. Gotobun, I would say it's definitely better. Yeah, both are better than.
But is it better
anyway.
than The World God Only Knows?
That's a good question.
Or is it better than Boku wa Benkyo wa Dekinai?
Boku wa Benkyo ga Dekinai isn't particularly good. It's pretty mediocre. But I'll get all these comparisons aside. Gotobu no Hanami, I'm so sick of hearing people being like, this author is so unique. Oh my god, what are they? This girl, that girl. I'm sick and tired. I don't want to hear it. And people are always so like, they're always just like, oh no, but this author is the creative one. This author is going to be the one that gives them a unique ending. Like, shut the fuck up. What are you like? You've seen what these stupid ass Japanese people like. Two nukes didn't help them with their creative like agencies. Why the fuck do you think like?
Okay.
Like, come on, man. Like, don't fucking give me this shit about like, oh, this one is the creative author. No, it's not gonna happen. Okay? Like,
Spire.
Yeah?
Don't you think the mangaka is so brave? He said going into the series that by the end, 4/5 of his fandom would be mad at him.
so stupid. Anyways, this author does not have the balls to
It's
do
implying
any.
one girl is going to win.
Yeah, it's just like I think like at best he's just
So
gonna
brave.
do some stupid shit and then it's gonna be like, oh, I was just trolling you guys all along. It's at best it's going to be like the Haganai ending where he's just gonna be like,
Don't you dare!
I was just
Don't you dare bring that up.
I was just trolling all of you guys all along. Haha. It's like, shut up.
But
Whatever.
Spire, they showed right at the beginning that he marries one of the Quints, so he's not lying
No,
at
no, no,
all.
no, no. He gets
Yeah, I bet you
visited
there's
by
gonna
one of
be
the
a
twins.
fucking
No, no.
sixth.
No. The flashback was
There is a
exactly.
sixth technically.
He gets visited in the church by one of the Quints, and then they both go outside to the church. That is not the same as them marrying. Do you see what it means? Because it's like if they go outside, there is definitely still a potential for the fake harem ending to occur or the real harem ending to occur. Because they all go outside and they're like, surprise! They're all the brides. Like that shit I've seen like enough times to just like, oh my god. Like I don't even need that sort of fucking flashback. Anyways, most overrated series, quintessential quintuplets. I don't even need an honorable mention for this shit. Near.
I think you're wrong, Spire, but that's for debate for another day.
Anyways, keep going.
I mean, this one was actually kind of tricky for me. Because you look at the seasons and you could kind of really, you could really,
Yeah, you can tell. You can just kind of.
you could just pick one from
Yeah.
there's one series in every season that's
Mhm.
like, yeah, you could say this is the most overrated of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Some people will say, Kimetsu no Yaiba is the most overrated. Some people will
Okay.
say,
Interesting.
I
can see that.
maybe, Dr. Stone or Fire Force is overrated, or,
But the thing is, there were.
No one's even
There are
fucking talking
Yeah.
about Dr. Stone
Trevor
anymore,
forgot
dude.
Dr. Stone already.
yeah,
thing,
really.
thing is, there are plenty of people. There are like significant amounts of people that are like, Fire Force like beyond the visual. You know what I mean? Like there are people kind of like hedging their bets all the time with going back
Yeah.
and forth between those series.
But in my opinion, I think I feel like there's really only one option when I look at all of them.
What is it?
It's Shield Hero. Like,
So no, okay. So I was thinking about Shield Hero. Well, the thing is it popular or is it controversial? That's a big thing.
I
So-
mean, does it really need to be either to be overrated? Like,
That's an interesting point. Like, because I thought I was just like, well, like it's like on tweets and blah blah, but like a lot of it is just like either people being like, wow, he's so gender equal, oh my god, and then like the other half of Twitter is just like, oh man, Naofumi is just he fucking he's such a misogynist, blah blah blah, stuff like that. And I kept thinking to myself, is that being like popular, or it's like if I compare that to like my expectations, is that being overrated? It is my thing.
I
You
don't
know
know.
what
I feel like a lot of the buzz around Shield Hero was very similar to a lot of the buzz around Goblin Slayer.
Yes.
And just due to the fact of that, it was brought up onto this weird it was brought up onto like multiple pedestals, right? Where it's like,
oh, it's not your. Oh, so you're talking about it's like, oh, it's not your regular isekai kind of stuff like that, right?
yeah,
Yes,
yeah. I
yes.
mean, there's people that were like,
I can understand.
oh, you know, like it's different from other isekais, man, right?
Mhm.
And then there's, you know, the people that are like, oh, this show is so like, you know, gross and disgusting. You know, it treats women in a horrible way and yada yada yada. And then there's the people that are like, yeah, fuck women. Shield hero protagonist is based and red pilled, right? Like there was
Mhm.
so many different audiences that were like they had no idea what they even wanted out of Shield Hero. But the fact that it just existed, they were like, yes, this is what I want.
Yeah.
I mean, like to me, like that's just like the epitome of just overrated. Like you're uh exclaiming value from something that probably doesn't even have the like characteristics that you supposedly like about it.
Hmm. Yeah, that's true. But yeah, I definitely also consider Shield Hero. It was like there are a lot of people kind of just talking on like all sides about it. But I can definitely see where it's just like people. A lot of times people were just like, "Wow, this is the gender equality isekai, haha!" Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I can definitely see. Okay, Dark.
Um, yeah. I'm gonna also go with that. I'm gonna also go with Shield Hero because that was legitimately the only show that came to mind to me. Uh, primarily just for similar reasons as Nira saying. But controvert, like I don't even, I'm not even looking at it from a controversy angle or anything like that. It was just more of people were talking about it so much, and then I'm just looking at the show, and it's like, it's, what does it have? It's like, all right, so what do you like about it? So it's not the audio visuals, okay? It's not even like the fucking world building at this
Or the
point. Like,
story, yeah, it's not
is it the
particular.
story? And they're like, well, like the story. It's like
Wow.
he's in a fucking another world. Like the chick like fucking grimaces at him in the first episode. That's
Yeah, he
sick.
has to get revenge.
And now he's out for revenge. And I'm like, it sounds like the most standard fucking thing I've ever heard.
But
It's like, all right, it's fine that you like it. Like, don't get me wrong. I could probably watch the show and enjoy it because it's not like its audio visuals aren't horrible, and it's
Mhm.
like I'm sure it's fine. But the amount of people who are just like fucking trying to talk up this show, I was just like, I was so confused. It's like, I know about this show, and it really does not seem to be that spectacular.
Mhm.
So yeah, like it was a pretty easy pick for me, just because it was just so stand out that so many people were talking about this series, and I pretty much figured like there's no way it's as good as they're making it out to be here.
Right. Yeah, I can definitely get behind that. Toast.
but Dark, you forgot. This was the year of the revenge isekai. And there was only 2 revenge isekai this year, and I was like, oh, okay.
Neither of them are very
Either way,
revengey.
though,
But anyways, keep going. Toast.
What was mine?
Most overrated series, please.
You know what? I ran out of ideas. I'm gonna go for it. My most overrated series was. Why can't I get a good picture? Kimetsu no Yaiba, yeah!
Okay.
And it's entirely because of the people who said it, not because of the show itself.
Yeah, no, I mean a lot of it's based around just people
anime
who
of the
actually-
decade.
Yeah. I have no hate for the show itself. It's fantastic. But when you have people who say it's anime of the decade, then
Yeah, I think the anime of the decade is pushing a
you
little
can be
bit
for sure. The people who say that have not watched anime at all.
It's mostly Kimetsu no Yaiba.
They had. Let
some
me
other stuff,
rephrase.
yeah.
They haven't started watching anime from the start of the decade itself. That means 2010,
Legend. They haven't
2011.
started watching ancient anime. TV.
Yeah, the start of the revolution anime. So from 2012 up, they probably started in I want to say 2015 ish up. When was Unlimited Blade Works? 2015. Yeah.
Unlimited Blade Works, I think it was
Yeah, I forgot.
2013,
Okay.
2014.
Probably started after that.
Yeah.
They definitely they're like, oh, I just love anime. My favorite anime is Boku no My Hero Academia. It's what is it? It subverts expectations of your traditional shonen tropes. Or my favorite, it's Black Clover.
Well, what's
They-
fucked up
Stop.
too about these people is that they're like not even considering something like, God, what the fuck? Why can't I even do it now? Oh, Attack on Titan season 1.
Yeah,
It aired in like 2011 or 2012.
yeah, that was 2011. That's the start.
Like you're not gonna consider like how the fuck are you not even mentioning that? It's at the very least pretty important.
And yeah, and like you guys, Spire might hate it, but Sao, Fate Zero, they're definitely the backbones, the background. Who's the guy who lifts the world on his shoulders? Atlas.
Atlas.
Yeah, Kirito is the Atlas of this
Stop.
generation, of this decade. You may hate it,
Alright.
but it's definitely true.
It's really not.
I don't know.
Kirito shrugged. The new book coming out.
I don't know, Nier.
Kirito
Why do you think Isekai boomed? It's because of Sao.
I think that's. Anyway,
But yeah, what-
Fucking
Japanese have very
savior.
bad taste.
What was I talking about? Oh yeah, Kimetsu no Yaiba. I don't hate the show, but I hate the people saying it's anime of the decade. Get
okay.
watch more anime, you. What's the word for fake weebs?
Fake weeps.
You
You fucking normie.
yeah, you Ria Jews. Yeah, that's the word.
Anyways, next is the opposite here. Most underrated series. So underrated series, I thought something people should check out. It might not necessarily be the best series out there or whatever, but definitely something that flew under the radar that would give a lot of it would be people will find it much more pleasant than they would imagine if they kind of just checked it out. So with that being said, my most underrated series goes to African Office Worker. I do have to. I mean, yes, I do like a lot of like those old Dilbert Office comic kind of humor kind of stuff.
But by the
Those
way, don't Google African office worker without the word anime in it.
Please, please, please.
Oops.
Yeah, what I said. Please, please. But yeah. But I do stuff like Dilbert. I watch Servant Service too as well. I like a lot of these sorts of like maybe a slightly more slower pace kind of comedic stuff. Sort of kind of weird almost, but I mean, in a sense, African Office works with that sort of Dilbert Office humor, but also adds like surreal aspects to it, like slapstick comedy and like animal based kind of weird stuff happening in the workplace and outside, stuff like that. And it's a very nice kind of collection of how like different sort of humor styles. And as Tos and I kind of mentioned before, I did say that like it dragged at some points, but I feel like what it was trying to do in terms of like doing the CGI at some points, how it kind of did almost like Akiyuki Shimbo, like a Shaft style, like text kind of in stuff, explaining whatever, or Onuma Shin style, right? Where it's like it has a lot of like different like assistant sort of like sketches, like chibi stuff, or other sort of like assistance text or little like diagrams and stuff like that to like help show what's going on. Stuff like that showed like a really good potential for this series, and I think I definitely enjoyed it much more than I thought I would. And I do think it has flown under the radar. So definitely African office work, or also known as Africano Sarima, I think is the Japanese name for it. Yeah, Nier. Most underrated series, please.
Yeah, so I went with a more recent series with this just because it's kind of hard to remember um, if a
Beastars?
series like a year ago was like not getting talked about, you know. Um, but I went with Hoshiai no Sora,
Hmm.
or Stars Align, which was a fall series, um, sports series about tennis. Very solid series. I really didn't see anybody talking about it. Um, it's a good sports anime. Um, I feel like we didn't have very many uh, solid sports anime this year. So if you're, looking for one,
Yeah.
it's really good. You know, it's not basketball sports number fucking 6 million where they've
Yeah.
got jets coming out of their armpits and stuff. It's a more calm, slower paced, relaxed series, and it's really solid. I didn't really see anybody talking about it, so check it out.
Okay, pretty good.
Nier, would you consider Kengan Asura sports?
No.
All right. What was that? What was that one with that I called Wave Race? But they had like guns.
The
Yeah.
weird skidoo racing one.
Yeah.
I don't remember what the hell
And
that was
that's
called.
like the only one I watched this year, I believe, or this season. I don't know. I don't remember.
Okay. Dark.
This one was this one was a little tough for me just because there were a couple of shows that I thought haven't gotten much recognition. So I'll start with a little honorable mention. My
Mhm.
honorable mention was going to be Chubio from this season, just because I thought it was a lot funnier than I expected. Audio visuals aside, because it's Dean, haha. There are a lot of really fucking funny episodes all like throughout the entire episode.
Mm.
And it kind of tied things together nicely, or it led up to things
Mhm.
pretty nicely. But my main one, which I mean, it's hard to say because now looking at it on Mall, like I had down Josie Kose no Muduzukai.
Yeah, Yushi Kase, yeah.
Uh, that show when I watched it when it aired, I thought it was really funny. Uh, just because the main characters are all fucking awful people. Uh, and it wasn't quite what I had expected. But I don't know. I just thought that it was really funny, and I saw the ratings on Mall. It really wasn't viewed too much, and it had like a 6 point something. And I'm like, that's pretty low even for Mall's standards.
Yeah.
But now I'm looking at it; it's at 16,000 ratings, and it has a 7.77. And I'm like, well, I don't know where that came from.
It's only
But
just
yeah, it actually like grew almost 2 full points.
right, exactly.
So that's kind of bizarre. But I'll still give it to that just because I haven't really seen too many people talk about it, and I think it's definitely if you like, more slice of life comedy stuff with a pretty big, like a bigger cast, all doing their own different like sort of gimmicks. This is definitely a show you want to check out, and just in general, I thought it really held its own. Especially, I thought it started very strong too.
Right.
Had
Okay.
a lot of different types of jokes, whether it be relying on repetition or pure slapstick or a long form like payoff over the course of an episode.
Right. Okay. Pretty good. Toast. Most underrated series, please.
What did I write down? Most underrated series. My shout out goes to Assassin's Pride. I like that show, even though it's terrible and it really moves fast.
It's underrated. Show
Is it-
sucks.
The fact that it's not very watched, might that be due to the fact that it sucks?
So
just a suggestion.
So?
Like,
you know, Spire. I have a keen eye for watching anime that I like. When I say
I'm not saying that you can't like that. I'm
What
saying
the
that
fuck
maybe
does
the
that
fact that
mean?
it's not very rated.
I have a
M
keen
because
eye
it
for watching anime that I like. All right.
You know, Mars of Destruction's pretty underrated.
it means that when I watch an anime, or when I think or when we do the previews, when I say I'm probably gonna watch this and I'm probably gonna like it, it means I'm at least 95% correct. So
Well,
I'm glad
I'm sure you'll be
you
happy to know I've seen at least one guy in another Discord say, "Wow, Assassin's Pride is fucking terrible, but I can't stop watching it."
well, he's right. But
yeah,
yeah, it's so this is the one that's usually the hardest for me. So I'm gonna go with the wild card.
which is
Hold on, the picture's not showing up. Can you see it? Where is it?
We're a little bit behind.
Where is it? Why don't you show it up? I went with how do you
Val
pronounce?
Love?
Yeah,
Or-
Val. Really, Val Love? I thought it was Val X Love.
No, usually they don't pronounce the X here, so
Val
it's like,
X Love.
like Hunter x Hunter, for instance. Yeah,
I really? I
yeah,
thought.
yeah.
And how come? What? So how?
Japanese people don't pronounce the.
So how do you pronounce the Azur Lane X Hololive collab without the X?
It's just Azure Lane Hololive.
Ikusa Koi War Love. Why's it called Val Love? Okay.
Now, Aspire, they don't call Mega Man X Mega Man.
You're right there. Anyway,
Yeah.
Gotcha there, but
Val
No,
Love. Anyway,
I've never heard anyone talk about Val Love. Yeah, see, even Pioche doesn't know
I
about
talked
it.
about Val Love. What? I
you didn't.
read that series all.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
No, you didn't.
I talked about
Prove
it
it.
with you on.
Prove it.
Prove. What do you mean prove?
yeah, where
you're
are the
wrong.
receipts?
Sorry,
Yeah.
I didn't watch it, Toast, or I didn't read
Will,
it, Toast.
You have
You're
to
right.
show your social security and your date of birth to confirm this thing.
Database. All right.
Yeah.
I'll get it to you after this.
What-
Anyway.
What was about the show? This dude with the scary face. You
Yeah.
know, the dude with scary face, and then Odin's like, "Hey, you need to find my Valkyries, my dude, and
Yeah.
your love will save the world." And he's like, "Damn, all right."
And if he does like
I don't know.
another thing, something.
I would have said Assassin's Pride, but I don't know. I don't find it underrated. It's great, even though it sucks.
Yeah. Okay. The point is, it has to be underrated.
Yeah, no one's talking about the show. Why not?
Yeah.
Don't you like Ragnarok Online? It's talking about Midgard and Odin. I don't know.
Yes. Norse themes. Excellent.
Spoiler. The reason why I'm mostly into what is it? The fantasy and the mythological heroes and stuff is because of Ragnarok Online. Before
Okay.
Fate. So yeah, they were my first foray into Odin. Not your Marvel movies. You should read the book. The Ragnarok manga, I mean. Yeah.
Alright.
Watch Valak's Love. No one knows about it. Neither do I.
Neither do I. All
What?
right. With that ringing endorsement.
What else had Norse? Oh yeah, God of War, five. Reboot.
Yeah, but that's not an anime.
That is
But-
if the main
It's
character was
animated. It's got an animation.
It's
not real.
I don't know what is it. What's that guy? Kratos. Kratos fights Valkyries, right? Well, the same does this guy too. He also fights Valkyries.
Yes, that makes God of War an anime. Thank you, Toast. Moving on. Best pleasant surprise, or most pleasant surprise, I think I should have written down. But most pleasant surprise is, as it sounds like it's more of like a personal thing. Like, I didn't expect some of this series to be very good, but it ended up being pretty freaking good. So it's that delta, rather than the change in the difference in expectations between your value and everybody else's. So it's just like a personal thing. The most pleasant surprise for me is Wataten. Watashi ni tenshi ga mayorita. With an honorable mention to Endro. So both of these are sort of like, cute blob just kind of rolling around. And I was just like Wataten, like, this shit's just gonna be fucking, like, in a sense, it might end up being like Ryo no Oshikoto all over again. I'm just gonna be like fucking, oh, lollies, yeah, just doing lolly things and just womping around with the older girls, stuff like that. And I was just like, oh my god, this is gonna be like whatever.
You know, Spar, you keep talking about Ryu Oshigoto, and I still don't know what it's about.
It's just lollies playing shogi, dude. Like, I don't know what else to say.
I don't know how to
Just
play
lollies.
shogi, so I don't
Yeah,
know.
so
it's
therefore
not real.
Wataten is like 100% better.
Yeah.
Because there's no fucking boring shogi part.
Yeah, what was that one show
No more
about?
shogis in the way
Yeah,
of the
what was that one
lolly.
show about the basketball? Ryokubu. At least I remember
Yeah,
basketball.
Ryokubu, yes.
Why didn't they play a more manly sport like chess?
Like chess, yes.
Or what was that one show
Unfortunate.
about the board games? Yeah, why didn't they play board games?
Unfortunate. But yeah, Watashi ni Tenshi ga Mayorita, I definitely didn't expect a lot of the character interactions development to really be as sort of well done, a little bit more subtle, a less, like, oh, I'm just lolly, haha, you're a lolly, come on. It's a little bit less on the nose of that, and I really did not expect that. So, thumbs up to that series, and obviously to Enduro, I kind of expected to be like, all right, well, it's just gonna go through the rounds, whatever. But the characters are definitely. It ended up being pretty good interactions. Like the characters had pretty good interactions, almost akin to Yuri Yuri, not exactly, but pretty good. So yeah, most pleasant surprise goes to Wataten. Nier.
Mine goes to Ganjo no Magmel. Series I picked up
Okay, Mac.
back when the season started. I wasn't really expecting to get that much out of it. It looked pretty generic from the PVs. Just standard, action, guy beats up monsters kind of thing. But it actually has a lot of charm to it. It's got some pretty funny jokes. A lot of the character actions are pretty nice. It's just a really charming series. It didn't really blow me away or anything, but it's just one of those series that you boot it up and you expect it to be kind of just like, yeah, I'll watch this for the sake of watching it. But it's a nice little show. I liked it.
Okay. Pretty good.
It's also on Netflix.
Yes. Dark. Most pleasant surprise, please.
So I have it wasn't too much of a surprise, so I guess honorable mention will be to Babylon. Because I originally had that as my like pleasant
Yes.
surprise. Well, first of all, it's not pleasant at all. Especially the fact that they delayed the final like arc a fucking month. Because I've been sitting here like fucked up shit's been happening, and I'm not getting the ending to it yet. But I was really surprised with just how much I'm enjoying that show. And how much I'm enjoying it in the sense that like I'm dreading every moment of it. So that show's a lot of fun to watch.
Okay.
If you're looking for that.
Yeah.
But I will say I wasn't that surprised at it being interesting, right? So that's like kind of what made me change last second. But now that you bring up Endro, I'll say that Endro will be my most pleasant surprise because Endro I thought was gonna be kind of boring. I didn't even expect to keep up with it, but I did watch it throughout. But its gimmick was a lot more fun than I expected it to be, and also it had a lot more just kind of like out there episodes than I expected. There was the fish person episode especially.
Yeah.
And just like some of the really weird jokes that they had, especially with the little dragon guy at certain points, like they did really bizarre shit that I was not expecting them to just throw in there as just a 10-second joke to never go back to at all.
Right, exactly.
So yeah, I would say that kind of surprised me more than anything.
Hmm. Okay. Toast.
You said pleasant surprise, right?
Yes. Most pleasant surprise.
My most pleasant surprise is. Where's the picture? There you go. My most pleasant surprise is. Wait for it. Why isn't it showing up? Kenji no Mago! Why? Because I was pleasantly surprised how much it sucks.
What?
You just didn't need another one under your belt?
No, it's well, let me go first in saying that it sucks. Don't watch it.
Yeah.
But it's better than Isekai. What is it? Oh yeah, Isekai Cheat Magician. So that's why it's going up here. Isekai's Cheat Magician was so bad that I had to pick this one.
Uh-huh.
All right.
Alright.
I mean, what did it have to go against? Make my abilities average? That's good. It's not a pleasant surprise. Mouse Sound Retry, it has Kaiba's voice, so it gets a pass. Isekai Cheat Magician is probably the worst Isekai this season. Not, what is it? Isekai Quartet, that's great. Spire loves it, so I can't put it on here. Kenji no Mago, congratulations for being the pleasant surprise that ranks slightly above Isekai Cheat Magician. Because Isekai Cheat Magician sucks. They suck.
Okay.
Main characters, oh, I'm so powerful, but I still lose things. At least in Kenji no Mago, the dude's a moron and has no common sense, but he doesn't lose his fights.
Alright.
What a loser.
Okay. Anyways.
Yeah.
Okay. Pretty good. Next is biggest disappointment. So this is the opposite, right? So it's like a personal value difference, but again, downwards, right? So for me, it went to The Price of Smiles, or Egao no Daika, a series where it's like, two sides are warring against each other, and every episode's like, oh man, you have to make the sacrifice. You have to, you have to smile, and you're the princess, so you have to make the hard decisions, but you have to bear the sacrifice in your heart. It's so angsty. Oh my god. Just like, yeah, whatever, dude.
Wasn't that the one with the robots?
Yeah, it was the one where it's like a mech war.
Ah,
Yeah,
I forgot
was not
about that
very good.
series.
Yeah, and I'm just like, look, I'm not saying that like ethics should never be a concept in anime, but it's like, can we just stop this thing where you're trying to hit me over the head with it? Like this whole like utilitarian or consequentialist thing where it's like, oh, you have to choose for the greater good, and you have to grin and bear it, blah blah blah. Like, I'm just so tired of this shit.
So-
like, this is what?
So what you're saying is that this is a slightly worse Code Geass and
So,
and not as good Sympho Gear.
well, Symphogear is Symphogear's sort of like idea of whatever its story was kind of went out the window a long while ago.
How much is your smile worth? Do you need to have perfect teeth to have a better rating?
Yeah. But yeah, honorable mention goes to Uchi Musume. And I'm not saying this because Uchi Musume is necessarily a terrible adaptation or anything. That what I'm saying is a big disappointment because I expected a lot of sort of visuals and the sort of tone to be a lot more like something like Spice and Wolf, something like Mahotsukai no Yome, something a little bit more like calming and slow paced and after story-ish. But it didn't really pan out like that in the anime adaptation, and I'm kind of disappointed. So that's honorable mentions for me, but yeah, biggest disappointment goes to Egao no Daika, Price of Smiles. Year. No.
You know, I feel like I don't know. I mean, this year wasn't that
Oh,
bad,
okay.
I guess,
Okay.
right?
I thought you were signed because you had a lot of shit that you were like.
Well, I mean, usually I do, right?
Mhm.
Like,
So much failures. So,
we got, multiple seasons of Berserk coming out. And, but
Are you disappointed in the presidential election too?
so
that's the one.
What was that? Your prime minister? Yeah, that's the guy. Is that
yeah,
what you're disappointed in?
it's not an anime.
Yeah,
So,
that's not an anime. So, anyway.
but I went with Boogie Pop. What
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Ah.
I remember that.
Because man, when this was announced, I was excited.
Yes.
I
Yes.
I love Boogie Pop. It's one of those series that came out pretty much like I think within the year of Serial Experiments Lane. And it was that time where series were weird. Anime was weird. They were willing to tell their stories in non-chronological orders,
Mhm.
with untrustworthy narrators and just differing perspectives per episode, right? And Boogie Pop was one of like the prime examples of that, right? And then Madhouse is like, yeah, we're doing it again. And then they release it, and then it's just a really poorly animated, really
Very
shitty,
rushed.
very horribly paced
Mhm,
adaptation
mhm, mhm.
of the original novels, and it's just as straight laced as it gets. Um, and it was just boring, and
Yeah.
it wasn't very good, and I mean, it sucked.
Yeah, it was so unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the most like one of my more top series, right? The original, and then to come out with a new one by the original studio too, right? Like
Mhm.
Madhouse did the original, and they just completely fuck it up. Yeah, I was really disappointed.
Very, again, very, very unfortunate. I just remember that too. Yeah, I don't know what else to say about it really. But yeah, anyways, Dark. Biggest disappointment, please.
So I've been waiting like
Oh boy.
maybe 8 weeks to do this because I kept forgetting every single episode to run this shit back. So I covered PSO2 Oracle, the animation,
Yeah.
and I said, man, it's pretty good. I watched like 2 episodes, but I was like, the
You mean
blood and shit, like
you
that's
mean you
kind of
mean
weird.
episode Oracle? That's a different one.
Yeah. So here's the thing: PSO2 episode Oracle fucking sucks.
Yeah.
I watched like 8 of the episodes now, and it never gets better. It never gets better. It only gets worse and significantly worse.
They
So, like, what's like anything that could be wrong with it is wrong with it. First of all, I was like, okay, like the darkers are stronger, and I'm like, well, maybe they want to make it so like the characters are level 1 or some shit. Like that's kind of weird because they're weak as fucking game, but whatever. Like it's more darkers are more all about strength and numbers, and as you kill so many of them, you turn yourself. So it's like, you can kill like 100 of them yourself, but you're gonna turn into an even stronger enemy then down the line. Um, and that was always a cool dynamic. So the show apparently it's confirmed. Well, no, it's not even that it's confirmed. Of course, it's confirmed. It's far enough in to just say it, but it's a third rendition of the story. Because originally, episodes 1 through 3 in PSO2 were their own. Then they did slight alterations to them when episode, I think, 4 or 5 came out, just to like streamline the story.
Right.
So it was like a slight changes here and there. It wasn't anything too crazy. And now for episode Oracle, they're like, oh, it's a third story, and the Fouls are a lot stronger. And I put in the PSO2 Discord at one point, like, so are our characters in this version then just fucking useless? Because in the game, you are the one that beats all the Dark Fouls. You beat everyone. And you, like, fucking absorb them and purify them against all odds. Like, you are a god. But in the show, Ash, like, Ash doesn't even fight the first weakest Dark Fouls. Like, he has nothing to do with them winning.
Right.
And, like, they make it so fucking serious, and, like, they blow up and commit mass genocide on the Ark's fleet. And it's like, it doesn't even make any sense. It's like, oh, we're gonna, like, we have to use this giant laser to kill the Dark Falls Elder. And they're like, but we'll kill so many people and blow up all of our own ships in the path. They're like, no, we need to do it now. And so they do that. And I'm like, well, if they had to do that for Elder, what the fuck is Ash going to do when any of the others show up?
Mhm.
They didn't even kill Elder by doing this. How are you going to do anything else?
Right. It's just
And
like,
so it's just a fucking mess. Like, it doesn't make any sense. It's not even Phantasy Star at this point. Like, it's not Phantasy Star Online 2's story at all. And it's so bad. And I hate that it exists.
But
And
Dark. They showed Stratos, didn't they? A young Stratos. That was
yeah, they
cool.
sure did. Which also is even worse. It makes even less sense. They're showing a character from episode 4 as a child, which I don't
Retcon.
think lines up timeline wise, even in the game. But also, like, don't show episode 4. Or no, is she episode 5? Either way, I think she's episode 5.
Yeah.
But episode 5 only makes sense after episode 4, which episode 4 is the one where they go to fucking Tokyo. So it's just like, why? It's just a bunch of decisions that don't make any fucking sense. PSO2 is more lighthearted than this show. And this show has, like, fucking blood and gore, and it's trying to be serious, and it's like, dude, you have space magicians. And you have some guy giving CPR. Like, episode 4 comes around, and you have isekais. Episode 5 is another isekai. Episode 4 introduces a fucking, like, pet class. What about the Rappies? They're stupid and they're whimsical. I hate this show.
it's like everything's going wrong, pretty much.
Yeah, anything that could be wrong with this show is wrong with this show. And it's really weird as to why they even made it.
Rare. Very unfortunate. Toast.
This is what happens when you let Sega produce an anime. Remember Valkyria Chronicles? Man, that anime made me upset.
I know, when they made the game, it doesn't make any sense.
I mean, what about, was the Bayonetta anime okay? I don't know. I don't remember it. I guess it was okay. But Bayonetta wasn't made by Sega, was it? No, it was Platinum, right? Right?
I mean,
Yes.
it-
No,
It was
No. Published by
published
Sega.
by
that doesn't
Sega.
count.
So,
That doesn't count. The people who made Skies of Arcadia are Sega, and they made Valkyria Chronicles later. Exactly, Pio. No one remembers it because it sucks. They killed off Vice. You can't kill off Vice. He's the main character of Skies of Arcadia. And jerks. And then there was that stupid love plot between the main female protagonist and the friend of the dude. The friend of Welkin. What's up with that? No, don't do that. That's stupid. Yeah, see, exactly. It's dumb. Don't watch it, or do
Okay,
watch it. Or do watch it. I don't care. But don't watch it.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, Toast. And
All right, and moving on.
we're
What?
just going on to a little bit of personal awards. These are
Oh wait, what? No, don't I have one? Yeah, I have one.
Yeah, you probably shouldn't have ranted about fucking Bayonetta.
All right,
What's
mine?
your most?
Mine, Azure Lane.
okay.
I'm getting why?
I mean, I don't think you need to explain
Pretty
after
sure
all
we
the
know
time.
why.
Yeah.
exactly. Repeat everything of when I talked about Azure Lane again.
Yeah. Okay. So definitely, tell us we're going to Azure Lane, and with that, we're gonna move on to personal awards. These are very like brief awards, not really like explanations. Just like it should be pretty obvious, like a lot of what they mean. And then, again, these are sort of like optional stuff. If somebody doesn't have them, they'll pass. It doesn't really matter, so on and so forth. These are just like little fun stuff. So with me, I just have like two. Um, Personal awards. First is the Eat Shit Award. I don't think there's too much to say to that. It's like a thumbs down kind of thing. Uh, Obviously, one going to the Kyoani arsonist, right? With the honorable mention to the Japanese government for trying to stop piracy in the dumbest of ways. Instead of maybe setting a better model for like Japanese or helping to set like a better infrastructure for like Japanese anime and stuff like that, they're just like, yeah, we're just gonna send like a bunch of people to manually scour the internet, like stop people, and it's like, no, I don't think that's gonna work. And then secondly, most insufferable fan base, goes to Gotobu no Hanayome with an honorable mention to Sword Art Online fan. Fuck both of those fan bases. Anyways, also I just want to say, can 2020 be the year where people stop saying shit like, oh yeah, but the first season, the first arc of Sword Art Online was okay. Really wasn't. Can we
No one will
stop saying
ever
that?
stop saying that. That'll never end.
Spire,
Can
it's
we
because
stop
Spire,
this?
Spire,
Just
it's because
stop.
it's true. The Aincrad arc is the greatest SAO arc ever made. We don't talk about
Okay,
Alfheim.
so technically it is probably the best out of these Sword Art Online arcs, but it still wasn't good. Can we?
Spire, why do you think they remade it? It's called SAO Progressive. That's the good stuff.
Fucking Christ. Anyway, that's just my personal awards. Here, do you have any personal awards? Like
No.
custom? Okay. Dark. What about you?
Yeah, I got two.
Okay.
I have wow, that's watchable. And that goes to Copcraft. Because wow, I watched that. And like I could watch it. Which is really really nice for that studio to have. You know? That was the studio that did Berserk. So
Right.
really good for them, or they assisted on it. Either way,
It
good for
was
them.
it was watchable. Yes.
You know, it
Fist
was
bump right there.
definitely watchable. It's like just visually, there was improvements everywhere. It still like was fucking horrible when a fight broke out after episode 1, but they're getting there.
Small steps, baby. Small steps,
Sound like
baby.
an asshole, but
Small
it-
steps.
Maybe one day they will achieve animation.
yeah, at some point,
They will be an anime studio someday.
like, hey, I should have given an honorable mention to Copcraft's OP actually, because Copcraft's opening was really cool and actually well done. But after that, gets pretty shaky.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it was watchable, which is a step up from fucking Berserk. So
Yeah. And whatever militancy always keeps trying to.
yeah, yeah. And then
Yeah.
my second award is biggest Pog moment,
Okay.
and that's going with Genjiro actually finally fighting fucking Symphogear XV, because
Oh.
our guy has been trying to get a fight in
Yes.
for like all 5 seasons. He's
Yes,
talking
yes,
mad
yes,
shit.
yes.
He killed like one noise one time. He gets asked every season, why aren't you fighting? And it's always like, no, the girls need to do it because it's their lives.
Yeah.
And they need to live them to the fullest. And
Yeah,
it's like
exactly.
people are dying. Again.
Yeah, Charlie.
Yeah, and then finally he gets to kick the shit out of his piece of shit dad. Listen, he didn't job, all right? He only lost because he didn't want to kill someone. Okay, it's the only reason why he
Pacifist route.
lost.
Pacifist route. Yeah.
You don't want to kill him, right? Or he would
If
have
you
beat
kill
his
him-
ass.
They win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
So
yeah,
realistically, like he won at the end of the day. All right.
yeah, he kept with the Jedi side. Yeah.
Yeah, like he's like, and even in like I think it was either season 1 or 2 or 3, like he fucking threatens like an actual god character. Like she's like, how do I know I can work with you?
Yeah.
And he's like, because if you try anything, I'll fucking kill you. It's like this is just a guy.
Yeah.
So that was fun. It was a lot of fun to finally see him fight.
Yeah.
It's also
Pretty-
cool, by the way, and a side note, to see any other fights in Symphogear that aren't Symphogear users, because you kind of forget that there's other weird magic bullshit.
Yeah, exactly. But it's also like it always has to be compared with like the Symphogear power, so it's like always like, this is a little bit weird. Yeah.
Yeah, like fucking Tachibana, like old man Tachibana, is
exactly.
like
Yeah.
doing weird katana magic bullshit, and they're like,
Yeah,
he's
and
even
the-
stronger
all-
than a Symphogear user. It's like,
Yeah, exactly,
why
and then
do you
you're
use Symphogears?
Yeah, exactly. The thing is, you're always thinking in the back of your head, like all those scenes where you're just like you see them just like grow like their suits into like just transform their suits into like fucking god destroying machines. Doom. Like, this seems like a bit of a gap.
Yeah, it's like, wow, this is stronger than a Symphogear user. It's like, well, the Symphogears killed gods, so this old man who's just screaming until veins are bulging out of his forehead is stronger than that?
Uh, oh,
He's gonna find a
Symphogear
new
is so-
religion.
Yeah,
Yeah, like, what the
Symphogear.
fuck?
Symphogear, what a great series, honestly. But yeah, good stuff. Toast, do you have any personal for us? If you have a lot, please keep it a
I'll
little
make
bit
this
short.
quick. I'll make this quick. I got like 20. All right, so here we go.
Oh my
best
God.
best
Gosh.
movie. Best movie. Shh, let me go. Best movie. Heaven's Feel Part 2. Broly, Dragon Ball Super Broly, and Konosuba as honorable mentions. Worst movie. Cats. Best fight
Yeah.
scene. The Saber Alter versus Berserker fight. I believe that's the pinnacle of UFO Table's anime power right now.
Okay.
Right now, yeah.
Worst fight
Okay.
scene: Sheffield versus Takao in Azure Lane. It looked terrible.
Okay.
Really bad. It was like 5 FPS. Worst, least favorite series. Probably Kenjin no Mago. I don't like that series.
Wait.
That's not
an
a bonus.
actual
Toast.
category.
That's not personal, that's
It's a
like an actual
real
thing we're doing.
category.
All right.
Wait.
All right. Oh, did I do that?
Is that
All
it?
right.
All
right,
Wait, so
I-
For a second there.
I need to cut down 5 of these. All right. Best anticipated anime of 2020.
best
That one isekai villainous anime. What's it called?
anticipated anime.
Katarina, whatever.
I mean,
Yeah.
most anticipated.
Yeah, best anticipated anime.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Worst anticipated anime of next year. Yu-Gi-Oh! 7s. It looks like
Okay.
freaking Card Fight Vanguard, and apparently, it's not even real Yu-Gi-Oh! Anymore. The story is this little dude's like, hey, old Yu-Gi-Oh's boring. All the boomers play it. I'm gonna make my own Yu-Gi-Oh! And he does, and it sucks because
He calls it Shadowverse.
yeah. I mean, I'd rather watch Shadowverse than that. But the little dude's like, I'm gonna make it.
Lucky for you, Shadowverse also looks like fucking Card Fight Vanguard.
But at least Shadowverse keeps its rule set, right? It should.
I don't know,
I
man.
don't know
I don't know.
anymore.
But yeah,
Nobody knows.
But
yeah.
this little dude's like, we're gonna draw up to 5 cards on each turn, and there's no limit to normal summoning. And I'm like, so what's the point of original Yu-Gi-Oh rules anyway? But then,
Such our card game anime.
Konami's like, don't worry, boomers. This is called a rush duel. It won't affect the TCG. And I'm like, you gave up Vrains for this? I didn't finish Vrains, and but at least it was really good. Whatever, man. Okay. Best Fate series, the original Fate series. Worst Fate series, Prisma Ilia.
Wait, is this 2019 awards?
Wait,
Yes.
no, you're going into decades now. We're not
No,
doing
okay,
that.
okay.
Best
Stop.
Isekai this year.
Okay.
Please make my abilities average.
Okay.
Yeah.
Going.
Worst Isekai. No, and worst Isekai. Kenji no. What was it? Isekai Cheat Magician. I don't
Okay,
like
okay.
that series. That series sucks.
Okay.
And then
going.
my last two best manga of 2019.
Okay.
That started 2019. What's where I had it up here? Ian Nakao Sare Nagara Opantsu Misete Morai Tai. You know what that
Oh
is, right?
yeah, it's the Punts series, right? Like,
Yeah.
please, like, show me your pants
But
or
this
whatever.
is the
Yeah,
official
Yanako.
serialization ones. Good.
Oh my
like it.
god, really? Okay.
Yeah, I'll hear it. Let me chew up with the link right now in
No,
chat.
I know.
Here you go. There you go. Yeah. Worst manga this year.
And
Ashige Komura-san.
okay.
Weirdos.
Wait, worse? Wow. Okay. Interesting.
You weirdos. Why? You like it, Spire?
Isn't that the feet one?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, that's fine. I think.
The original like pre-serialization art was better than this one.
Okay.
Also, I don't
Anyway.
like feet. That's weird.
Also, yeah, that's probably the bigger reason.
I mean, no fault to people who like feet, but it's not my thing.
That's a
Yeah.
fucking lie.
You can't prove that.
Anyways, we're gonna move on to our last two, and it should be pretty obvious as to who those are.
What?
And we're just gonna go to our just some brief thoughts on the year, anime, the podcast, so on and so forth. So please stick a little bit further with us. We are in the final stretch, and we are starting off with, of course, worst or least favorite series. So for me, obviously, usually if a series is bad enough to land in this category, it's also my least favorite. Like, I don't like it, duh. But I also consider worse as in just generally, like, considering the writing, considering blah blah. It's just bad. And some people, I won't say who, might already know where this is going for me. But my worst series goes to Arifureta from Commonplace the World's Strongest, also known as Arifureta Shukugyo de Seikai Saikyo. So,
Not Go Tobun, really? Not Quince?
no, I think Gotobun, as I said, it's overrated. I don't think it's like terrible. It's not like some Nisekoi shit. I think it's just like standard. Like, I just don't get why people are impressed all the time, to be honest. But I've never been like it's terrible. There are some pretty bad parts in it, but again, I wouldn't say it's worse by a long shot. But Arifureta is just like, oh, so bad. It was so bad in the original. Just like everything that's like again, I think, I mean, Toast obviously also like, but I think I'm a pretty ardent defender of using isekai as a tool. Like, I'm not one of those people. I mean, I was never one of those people who was like, oh, moe blob anime, oh, that shit. And I'm also not a huge proponent of people like, oh, isekai is always garbage. I think there are plenty of production committee staff, plenty of publishing company editors, plenty of writers who go on Shosetsu, Ninado, the fucking fanfiction.net site for Japanese people. There are plenty of those people that make it seem really bad, but I don't think as a tool it's bad. But I mean, it's hard to defend. It's like that Chris Rock skit on rap. It's on modern rap, right? It's like, it's hard to defend isekai when stuff like this keeps coming up, right? Like, what do you even say? It's just so bad. It starts out doing revenge stuff, and then it never does revenge. It's like some stupid power fantasy. It has stupid powers. All the heroes are boring. The MC is boring. It's just so bad. The pacing is bad. It's like even the adaptation, the audio visuals are. What's going on here, guys? So Arifureta definitely worst / least favorite of 2019.
It's because he has a gun, Spire.
Yeah. It's because he has the machine gun
He's got
or the Gatling gun. Excuse me.
He's got the pistol, the anti-material, and he uses cool German
I mean, there's
names.
even like a gun isekai that's like isekai gun
Which one?
like series. The one
Gun
where it
Ota?
has Gonota. That's honestly better than Arifureta. It's like
Yeah. And,
Yeah.
and that manga art's horrendous. But you're
Yeah.
right. I mean, Arifureta has great manga art
Yeah,
compared to
it
the
has
light
fine
novel.
one. It has it's by that one hentai art, Takayaki, right? Takayaki, I believe,
Really?
did either light novel or manga, whichever one.
Probably the light novel. I don't.
I think it's probably light novel, but yeah, I
Yeah.
forget who did manga. But anyways, that's my worst / least favorite series. Year.
Ha 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 ha.
Aha!
So this year didn't really have any berserks. Didn't really have any Irozukus. But it did have One Punch Man season 2.
Yeah. What's your favorite
No, it's
part?
One Punch Man, dude. It's so original.
Just
You talking shit about One Punch Man?
My favorite
I am.
is still Genos' arms.
One Punch Man, like it's not good. Like just the
You
general,
talking shit about One Punch Man?
like just the general series. It's not great. Like it's not that great of a series. Like let's
Yeah.
be real. And then you know, y- when you make it look like shit, what's the point of watching it?
Yeah.
Spoiler alert: there wasn't any. It sucks massive cock. Eh, This show's awful. Like it looks like shit. The story's not good. Like it just sucks, right?
Yeah, just
Like,
everything about it is falling apart.
It's just like I don't know. It baffles me, right? It's such a baffling thing. Like Dark was saying earlier, when season 2 was coming out, people like ate this shit up. Like they loved this shit. Like it's so bizarre. Like they can have the most basic ass like mindless thing in front of them, right? And they can be like, "Yeah, this is good," right?
If
And
if Saitama was just like a stick figure, just like punching
yeah,
up.
like typically when you ask people like why they watch stuff like this, it's like, "Oh, well, there's action, right? Like there's flashing colors in front of my eyeballs, and it makes my two fucking neurons rub together."
Endorphins.
Right?
Yes. Yeah.
But it's like you can't even really say that about this. Like it looks like
Yeah.
absolute dog shit. Like it hurts to watch.
Yeah.
And yet there's people on Twitter that are like, "Yeah, looks good." I hate this show, man. I like, I'm pretty sure when season 1 came out, I wasn't this harsh on it, but like,
Mhm. Season 1 held it together in terms of what it wanted, but
yeah, I
season
mean,
2
like,
it didn't even hold up in terms of what it actually wanted.
season 1 it faltered in its audio visuals near the end. But like the product was what it was, right? Like
Right.
it had the flashy animation, it had the explosions, it had the funny, wacky dialogue, I guess. But this is just like it's just like painful to look at.
Right.
And then people are like, "Oh, PogChamp!" Like, I don't know. I like just seeing, I guess, the extent that I guess anime watchers like can debase themselves in watching just absolute dog shit. Like, it's made me hate this series. I don't like it.
Yeah. It's very, very unfortunate. Dark.
Well, there was only one series in this entire year
Mhm.
that I felt strongly against on many, many different.
Moral grounds.
Yeah.
Moral grounds.
And guess what? One Punch Man season 2.
Yes.
One Punch Man 2, like it's like what Neer was just saying. It's so weird that like I had people coming at me, like saying some very choice things that don't make any fucking sense. when I was just like, yo, this show looks like shit. Why would they do this? Like, it's so bad. And it is. Like,
Yeah,
it's
it's
fucking awful. And the main thing for me was like, I don't like One Punch Man. I don't think it's very good in general. But if you like it, it's whatever. But my main thing was that like this is bad. So why would you even be happy about this? Like, why would you get mad at someone for being like, wow, this looks like shit? Why would you be like, no, it
you know
doesn't matter?
you
Like,
know what this by the way, this conversation suddenly makes me, you know how it's like fucking, we'll talk a little bit more about this in our, bonus end of decade podcast coming pretty soon. But uh, you know how we were reading through like some of those like fucking anime of the decade rankings, and one person was like, Akinohana had all those, the rotoscoping and fast CGI. It was on purpose to create this uncanny valley, blah blah blah, and like all this bullshit, right? You think that like in like a couple of years, people would be like, "Yeah, dude, all of that was on purpose." Like, you think people will do? I feel like there will be at least one person who does that. Who tries to like pull that shit.
I
You know
mean,
what I mean?
listen, there's gonna be one guy. I mean, there's already like if someone can say like, it doesn't matter because you're not supposed to be focusing on X, Y, or Z. You're
Oh my
not supposed to be watching it this way. It's like I'm using my fucking eyeballs. How else am I supposed to watch this? By all means, if you got another way I can take this in without looking at it,
You're gonna put a black screen in front of you so you can't actually see the anime.
yeah,
That's
it's
how.
like, well, like, where are you supposed to go from there? It's like you're not supposed to watch it that way. The way you're supposed to do is you're supposed to just read the manga. Like, okay,
Yeah, just
sure,
just watch the manga. It's all better.
Just watch the
yeah,
manga.
like, I'll fucking put on the show as like an audiobook and just
Yeah.
watch the manga.
Yeah.
Like, I don't get it. Like, sure, like that would be a better experience than One
Yeah.
Punch Man season 2 would be if they just voiced in a
Audiobook.
fucking auto played manga
Yeah.
that just went through each panel. That would legitimately be better than One Punch Man season.
One Punch Man visual novel.
Speaking of blind people,
Yeah, anything, really anything would be better than One Punch Man season 2. It already was a PS2 game you couldn't play. So,
you know, speaking of blind people, Dark, in Netflix, there's an option for what is it, closed caption or
yeah.
special needs audio. I watched Fate Last Encore with closed caption
Yeah, closed
Japanese
captions
audio.
fucking suck.
So
by the way.
it was like they're talking, and then they're like, and then they walk this way, and I'm like, nice. Now I don't need my eyes to watch this anime.
I hate that shit. But yeah,
Nero dodges some arrows, and I'm like, I can use this while I drive to work.
oh,
Yeah,
it
anyways.
had an audio. It had audio on that.
Yeah,
That'd be pretty good.
That's weird.
yeah, it's just like then they're talking, and then the narrative goes, and then Nero dodged arrows, and I'm like, perfect.
But
Oh,
yeah,
geez.
so it was just like it's so strange that like someone would run to defense of it. It's like Index, like I'm out here and I'm like, wow, Index season 3. I'm so excited. I can't wait. And then it comes out and I haven't even watched it yet. Why? Because it doesn't even look like visually it was JC staff and they fucked up this year. So it doesn't even look that good. And I'm like, well, I'm kind of scared to watch it now. Because I don't really want to watch it right now. I'm not ready yet.
Yeah.
So it just really took me back that a show, like I was saying earlier, a show could look this bad and be this popular, and also that like people would be so adamant to defend it, especially when I'm like, why don't you just read the fucking manga? So I'm not even like, oh, ignore the series. I'm like, no, just go get it a better way. Because this ain't it.
It's again, just very, very unfortunate. But yeah. Anyways, toast.
What are we on? Worst now? Still worst?
Worst, yes.
My worst anime this year? Probably Virtual Son with Miteru. They're all dead, man.
That's
They're all dead.
yeah, that's a very cynical way to look at it.
No, I'm kidding. It's Azrael.
Okay. Well, I mean, that was again very
I
self-explanatory.
expected little, and I was disappointed. Anyway, like
And
we know the whole fiasco with Concola. It was what is it? What's the line? You were supposed to be the chosen one. You were supposed to destroy the Sith, not work with them or whatever.
not join them, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, very
I believed in you, and
very unfortunate with Azerlane. But again, it had that danger. When it was announced, we all kind of could potentially be in that sort of danger zone. But unfortunately,
I expect little. I got even less. I mean,
yeah,
uh,
yeah, very again very unfortunate. And last but definitely not least, we come across our best slash favorite series. So again, everybody might have their ways of evaluating this, but for me, obviously, I have to like it, duh. But it also has to be just something that kind of wraps it all together into a coherent package that hits all of the marks in what it wants to do. That's a big thing. Like a lot of anime series try to do a lot of things, right? They'll try to run comedy, or like slapstick slash like manzai comedy, like a Tsukomi or whatever. They'll try to do some romance. They'll try to do drama. They'll add in a mystery arc. They'll do all of these things and end up half-assing all of them, right? Not to mention, maybe their their animation budget cuts off like halfway through. So the idea is to have a coherent package, get your stuff across, get it done well. Everything that you're going to commit to it well. Just hit all the notes. Boom. And obviously, beyond that, we also have it has to go above and beyond, right? We're not just talking about straight adaptation. Straight adaptations are dime a dozen these days. It's not just about the anime as emotional material. It's about anime as um, this medium that I'd be like, okay, yeah, I'm watching this. It's like what Martin Scorsese said about like Marvel films and like them not being cinematic or whatever, right? And, and some people agreed with that, where it was just like at some point we have to kind of reach higher, right? It's not just about the flashy what blah blah into box office sales or BD sales, right? It's about doing better. It's about making better stories. It's about animating better. It's about having better voice actor castings or soundtracks or whatever. It's just about raising the level. So with that in mind, my best slash favorite series of 2019 goes to Beastars. So this might be pretty obvious from the words I did before, but I mean, from there, I don't think I need to explain too much, but it kind of just wraps everything together, right? The story is succinct. It's based around the character, so it's not like it has some sort of like action story or whatever necessarily. Um, but the characters evolve very well around each other. The soundtrack is very good. It was on its way to win one of my best overall soundtrack. The visuals, I obviously don't need to say anything about it. It just it hits all the notes, and not only does it hit all the notes, it goes above and beyond what I expected from a top tier anime. It just does everything, and it committed to it and did it well. And for that, I give it best slash again favorite anime. And honorable mentions go to Carol on Tuesday, Civic Year XV, or I guess Civic Year XV, or the final season, and Watashi ni Tenshi ga Mayuri, or Wataten. So yeah, congratulations to Beastars. Nier, best slash favorite series, please.
You know, I wish it was last year where it was just
It
it
was
was
easier.
easy. It
Yeah.
was just so easy, right? Which is weird for me to say, right? Because
It's a good kind of struggle. It's a good kind of struggle.
I mean, like this year was good, right? It was a
Yeah.
good year. But I don't know. Was last year better? Like I feel like
Hmm.
in
I
some
think
ways
maybe the latter half of 2018 kind of gained better momentum.
maybe I don't know. But I don't know. Last year it was easy. It was just like bam. But I don't know. I feel like it's tricky for me, right? Because the way I see it, I'd say Beastars is the best series of the year, right? But at the same time, I feel like Fate Grand Order is the most fun I've had watching anime
Okay.
this year.
Oh, okay.
So I'm still kind of divided, to be honest.
Interesting.
But I think I'm gonna give it to Beastars because I mean it's the best show this year. It's really I don't think very many other shows can really stand up to it this year.
Yeah, it might be even hard to in the future upcoming years to see somebody kind of rise to that level. I mean,
Yeah.
except for maybe Studio Yours, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. You know, it's got the talent, and it's got the studio behind it, right? Like
Mm.
it's a fantastic series.
Yeah, very, very good question.
Yeah.
Okay, good stuff. And Dark, how about you?
All right, so this year I didn't get around to watching or finishing nearly as much as I wanted to, but
Hmm.
uh, I am still. I think even if I did watch Beastars to the fullest, I still probably would give this to Carol and Tuesday. Uh, just because I think overall as a whole package, I liked it a lot. Um, Conceptually, I thought it was cool. The behind the scenes stuff was really cool. Seeing them work with the two artists that did all of Carol and Tuesday's songs. Uh, I just thought overall, like the character designs were really awesome. The setting, like the aesthetic for the setting, was really cool.
Hmm.
It was believable. For future, like of course there are a lot of like wacky characters, but it wasn't constant like Fifth Element in your face all the time with like the people walking around and that they encounter. So I just think overall I really liked Carol and Tuesday the most.
Right,
The
right, right.
soundtrack, the audio visuals weren't the best all the time, but or rather the visuals weren't the best all the time, but I think it made up for it in a lot of other ways. And just seeing an original go
Hmm.
that far was really, really cool as well.
Okay,
So yeah,
pretty good.
I hope to see more stuff in that vein. I hope its success and notoriety at the point
Yeah.
has made studios consider like maybe we should do more original stuff. Wouldn't
Right,
that be neat?
exactly. And just like just kind of make themselves uncomfortable, right? Although obviously it
Yeah,
is kind of
and
hard.
also taking a further approach to things. I don't really know how you would do it with another genre of show per se.
Hmm.
Maybe looking even deeper into trivia for some shows and stuff like that. But as far as this show goes, the trivia was there. But not only that, but like just working with the musicians was there.
Hmm.
Um, just yeah, I just thought that that was really neat. The cultural stuff was there.
Yeah, it was actually like solid references instead of like, yeah, piano. Like,
Yeah, like, oh, I play piano. I play the guitar.
yeah.
You know, Gibson? And like it ends
Wow,
there.
such
It's like, oh no.
expensive guitar. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was yeah, just overall it was pretty cool seeing that, and it didn't go over the top with a lot of its stuff. It didn't tread too far off into different directions.
Right, right.
It kind of kept itself on track really well.
Okay.
And I guess just mainly just to end with sort of like the behind the scenes stuff. That was just really cool to see.
Mhm.
To see them
Okay.
just work with like two completely like different artists to build proper roles in the show that made sense,
Mhm.
and make it feel natural. Like I don't know if I just got used to it, but the transition just seemed natural too from the regular voices to English voice, like obviously English voices for the songs.
Right, right. Yeah, it's just definitely such like a unique like series, but it's not just like it is like unique, but it pulls that off actually like well in terms of the audio visuals, in terms of again, as you said, the references it makes and everything. So it just holds itself on its own. But yeah, thank you for telling us your choice and toast. Best
Wh-
slash favorite, please.
What if I told you I didn't have a best/favorite this year?
It's just like
Well, you
everything's
gotta
bad.
pick one.
Everything's bad.
All right. So my this was a tough one for me because this year kind of sucked.
Okay.
All the isekai were average except that one that I said please make my abilities average. Guess what? You're not. You're all right. And bookworm, that's for nerds. I still can't go over that one scene where she started having like a mental breakdown because she wanted to read a book, and I'm like, gross. I mean, I
Okay.
get it, but like, nerd. But yeah.
Okay, so what's your best slash
So,
favorite?
and then I guess my honorable mention will go to what was this year? Is it was it this year? I think it was this year. Yeah. My honorable mention will go to Araya-san. Is that how? Yeah, Araya-san and Joshi-luck. Those were this year. Those are pretty good.
Joshi Joshi Joshiaku?
Joshi-luck, yeah. Those were this year, right? Yeah,
Oh,
those are great.
Joshiaku was in this year.
Yeah, it was. Episode
Wait,
1 was like October?
wait, what series are you talking about?
Don't worry about it.
What the
Anyway,
f are you talking about? Can we come on? Can we get on?
yeah, those were
What's happening?
good.
Come
My other one was, I guess, Dumbbell. And since Dumbbell, that was great.
on. Okay.
Onegai Muscle is great.
This is all
What?
honorable mention stuff so
Yeah.
far, right? Okay.
What? This is the reason why we had all those Ring Fit streams.
that I won't necessarily argue against that. Okay.
Did you know Akai Hato weighs as much as 3 apples, and each apple weighs 16 kilograms? Anyway, um, so I mean, through process of elimination, because I can't use movies, that's kind of cheating. So I no Fate, no Heaven's Feel, no Konosuba, no Broly, no Rise of Skywalker, none of that.
Okay.
I'm going to actually give it to Chokado Girls 1/6.
Overdrive Girl 1/6.
Yeah,
Yes.
for the reason being, it's got that 2000 era art style,
Animation
and
feel. Yeah. All right. Animation feel. Yeah.
and it's
I
pretty,
know.
it doesn't try to break the mold. It's pretty down to earth. This one's my slice of life this year, and no one can take it away from me. With it would have been Azure Lane, but I got disappointed. See, the reason why I picked this is because this is probably the one of very few series that I still I still watched every now and then. I'm like, hey, I played Dragon a little bit of Dragon Quest. Let me watch that Vernois episode. And no, there was no good mecha this year. And Yu-Gi-Oh! Vrains was all right, but it's not as good as 5Ds. And then Yu-Gi-Oh! Sevens, no, no thanks. And I like Mega Man. She kind of reminds Nona kind of reminds me of Roll. Yeah, or what's that one with the
Ella.
robots? What's the one with the robots and their underground cave story? I like Cave Story. Why not?
Okay. Well, okay. So
You know, Spire. You just you just have that feeling. When you know this is probably going to be the best they've got this year, so you might as well make the best of it.
well, I'm glad you've managed to find one thing here
It's good.
that
It's
you
good.
enjoyed.
It's pretty non-invasive. Slice of life, just about a guy who loves his little figurinos. They move and talk, but they still stay in their archetype. And then they're like, "Oh, I'm a figurine. That sucks." It's pretty good.
Okay. Well, thank you, Toast, for Overdrive Girl 6. And with that, we are almost done. Just hold on, and we're just going to we're going to just about, general impressions of the year and, looking back. And we're actually going to go in reverse order, starting with Toast. Just you want a bit about what you thought about past year, general sort of Japanese anime stuff like that. Podcast,
This year was
anything
like
related.
this year was pretty average.
Okay.
I definitely believe that 2018 was a better year for anime,
Okay.
or at least I mean, and then it bled into the start of 2019. That's when the good stuff was. Then after that, not as great. My isekais are pretty average.
I mean, I don't think you're gonna get
I don't.
really
Yeah,
much more like good isekai. Like the
except
issue is people are
you're
always
you.
the editors are always picking from the same stupid fanfiction pile, dude. Like how good like fanfiction people fucking bad at writing. Like I don't know what else to say.
Don't worry, Spire. The year of 2020, the year of the villainous.
God, I fucking shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
what is it? What's it? Kumodeska Nanika? That's a girl. She's in there. Bakarita, that's also next year. There was also what was it? Was a Moonlit Journey? I believe that's also next year. I'm hoping.
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like they're gonna be pulling so much from Shosetsu and not like there are like legit like light novels and stuff like that out there. They're like, okay, but it's like a lot of this is just garbage. But yeah. Anyway, thank you for your retrospection. Dark. Just a bit of a retrospection on the year back, and about the podcast about anime.
I just got distracted by something to delete.
Was it this year?
But yeah, it was an alright year. I think it had a lot of heavy hitters, but I don't know. I feel like it wasn't really spread out. Yeah, I don't know. There's something about it where
It's
I'm just like feeling like the year was not that great, even though it had a lot of really great stuff. Like it's strange. I'm not feeling that great about 2019 as a whole, even though I know every season I had stuff that I watched that I liked,
would you say
and I don't know why.
would you say it's pretty front loaded and back loaded and the center sucked? Because that's how I'm feeling.
I don't know about that because I don't think if I think Wataten was like in the middle and Joshikose was in the middle, and I really liked those, but it's and then like Carol and Tuesday was like towards the middle, and that was really good.
Wato
so
10
it's
was January.
was it?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe I'm thinking of. Yeah, I don't remember what I'm thinking of then. But yeah, nah, yeah, I wouldn't say it was that front loaded. But it's strange. I don't know. I think overall it was probably a good year, even though I'm not feeling as good about it as I probably should be.
Okay.
Uh,
Pretty good.
yeah.
Year in retrospective.
You know, two of us have said now this year's, a little iffy, right? Um, I think this year was really good.
Okay.
The thing is, right, is from my perspective, 2017, right, was phenomenal. Like
Yeah.
looking back on it, it was an absolutely amazing, right? Like so much good stuff came out. And then 2018 was also quite good, right? I feel like maybe it's just like, the comparison, right? Like
There's like a bunch of still. It was stable. They were stable years, or
yeah,
or the years seem to be becoming more stable, if not
like
necessarily like standout stuff.
yeah, I think 2017 was just like it was like knocked it out of the park, right? For me anyway. Like it was absolutely amazing, right?
Right.
And then 2018 was good. It was really solid. And then I think this year was really good too, right? But I guess maybe, going, obviously you can have every year be fucking amazing, right? But,
Right.
when you have, 2 years in a row that are, good, right? Like solid, um, it starts to get a little bit less, impactful. It starts to feel less
You
like,
want a bit more, like it has to raise the bar, right? The bar has to be
yeah.
raised. Yeah.
You have 2 years in a row that are like good. You're less like, wow, this year was good, and you're more like, yeah, this year was good, right?
Yeah.
Um, this year was good. It was solid. It had a lot of good series.
Yeah.
I think, I think what Toast is saying is somewhat valid. Maybe the middle was a little bit slower. Um, but there was good stuff for every season for pretty much everybody. I think it was a very solid season. Um, I want another year that just blows my fucking socks off. Of course, but uh, it
But
was
having stuff to actually watch is better
yeah. I mean,
than.
like you said, having the general quality of anime be stable
Yeah.
is better than having the like having seasons that are just like
Praying for, yeah.
seasons where I'm just like, oh, I've got fucking nothing to watch, right?
Yeah.
Um, yeah. I mean, it was a very consistent year.
Yeah.
Here's hoping the next one is either as good or better.
Yeah.
There's not a whole lot that I'm super excited for next year, but there's always surprises to be had.
Yeah. As for me, again, I think I agree with. I mean, most of what everybody says. Where it's like, I think this year started out a little bit slower, but then obviously gained a lot of momentum. It had a lot of stable, pretty good series, and there are some trends that I'm not necessarily liking. Some of the stuff that we talk about, just CGI, trying to do CGI, but not actually doing very well. Stuff like a lot of just isekai that's popular on the fan fiction sites, but not actually that good. Um, those getting adapted, so on and so forth. But I think there are also plenty of other, trends that are developing pretty well. Where it's just like there are a lot of unique series. There are a lot of like Japanese anime always have like really like a lot of unique premises, but a lot more of them are being carried out in the anime. So before it would be like, yeah, unique premise like this main character has the superpower to control the toilet, and then he's suddenly sent to an isekai and blah. and like all this crazy stuff, and then like 2 episodes in, just like the bottom falls out of the series. You know what I mean? It's like that stuff always happens, and I think that's happening less and less these days, and that's really nice to see. There are still disappointments, but for the most part, I can kind of see a premise, kind of see what's going on. Yeah, okay, this might go X way, um, and a lot of series kind of pan out like that, and I'm just like, okay, yeah, this is good, or this is bad. I'm just not going to watch because so on and so forth. So that's become much more stable that way, as we stated. This year I think was a fine year. I'm starting to like lose track throughout the years of like which years were like super bang out years. I do think that as uh, 2017 was pretty good. It had a lot of like pretty cool stuff, like stuff that I didn't expect for sure. Obviously, it had Hoseki no Kuni as well, but a lot of other interesting stuff. I feel like I forget if any of these years that I keep looking through really had um, an impact on me like I had back in 2011 ish. But I mean, I think a lot of there's a lot more stability nowadays throughout the years 2017, 2018, 2019, just with series that are fine, series that are good, series that are really good, and that sort of top level than some of the years before, where it's just like sometimes you're just like, is there like there's like maybe one good anime this year that's like not like something that I can legitimately show to my friends and be like, you should watch this. Like there are some years that are just like, oh god. But yeah, overall pretty stable, pretty good series or pretty good year. The top level of series, stuff like Beastar, stuff like Carol and Tuesday, so on and so forth, perfectly solid stuff that you could introduce your to friends, you could introduce to maybe your family, as long as they're not just like, as long as the first thing out of their mouth isn't like, oh, so you're a friend. As long as it's not like that, you can show it, right? And that'd be perfectly fine, right? So pretty good. um but yeah, that's pretty much my introspection of, or a retrospection about the year. As for the podcast, I think it went pretty smoothly. A couple of hiccups here and there, but for the most part, um, again, I say this every year, but I really did enjoy kind of experiencing, reviewing, previewing, going through all the holes and gaps and whatever. All the viewers out here, and you know, I obviously don't have to say this, but with Nier, with Dark, with Toast, with everybody on the podcast, and I said this at the start of the podcast, but I really do trust these guys in terms of just this sort of stuff. You know what I mean? Where it's like some people like, oh, there are plenty, like there are a lot that just say shit, like just say whatever the fuck they want, right? And I take a pretty big grain of salt with a lot of these people. Um, they say this stuff is good, or oh, blah blah blah, whatever, Sakuga, all that garbage stuff. But there are very, very few that I legitimately like will hear and be like, okay, yeah, sure, I'll watch it because they recommended it, or boom, they know what to say on this. But these 3 people are at least the ones I do trust, and I'm glad that I gone through a year of podcasting and so on with all of them, and I hope they also feel the same about me.
Yeah,
But
whatever, dude.
yeah, this motherfucker. But yeah, thank you guys for being with me for another year of 4PlayerAnimecast. You guys, near Dark Toast, and as well as all the viewers out there. And with that, this 2019 Anime Awards show is over, and so is the show of 2019. We will actually do an end of the decades podcast next week. We'll have some small stuff set up. It'll be a little bit more podcast it won't like have a lot of stuff. It'll just be like a top 5 kind of thing. So watch out for that. You know, we kind of gave in to the temptation, did an end of the decade thing. So here it is. So watch out for that. We'll be posting on social media. But anyways, if you do like what we do here, then you can join us on twitch.tv/4PlayerAnimecast, where we stream every other Saturday at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The latest and greatest in Japanese animation media. And you can check us out here. We have our VODs recorded here and on YouTube, where we have our live recordings of the stream archived, so you can check us out there. And check us, please follow us on social media on Facebook and Twitter. Facebook 4PlayerAnimecast, Twitter handle at 4PlayerAnimecast, so you can follow us there for updates. And with that,
Hold on, Spire. Hold on, Spire. You forgot one thing. I have to make an announcement.
I know what this is gonna be. Actually, I'm pretty sure I know what this is gonna be.
Spire. I regret to say, but I don't think I can be on the podcast anymore for an entire year. I have to take a leave of absence because of how much Azerlane has hurt me. So
all right, Tush, you could. We'll give you a break until next year.
I have to take a leave of absence from the podcast. Sorry.
Dark is just...
We'll do one better for you. We'll give you until next decade.
Yeah. God damn it. All right, I was just gonna end with a simple like pun on that level, but anyways.
See you guys next time. I hope we meet again.
All right.
Hopefully, in this lifetime.
In this lifetime. Anyways, thank you, Tuss. Thank you, Dark. Thank you, Nier. Thank you to all the viewers, and we'll see you next year.
Next decade. Bye.